All right. Hey, yes, when this show started. Make sure. Hey, I see y'all in here, members. I see you, producers, members, families. Everybody is in here. Okay. All right. Getting this show started. All right. Getting this show started. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. Thank you all for coming through. We have a show for y'all today. Man, when I said, this has been so good, man. Like, I was looking, shout out, we gained another 100 subscribers. Yay to us. Yay to y'all for watching and viewing. Shout out to my audience. Shout out to people that are brand new. We do a lot of videos. Shout out to new folks that joining us, and shout out to the returning people. Thank you. You could have been everywhere, but you are here. I've been so busy. Like it's been very busy, working on content and putting content out. But I can say I'm having fun. Like, I am loving doing shorts. I'm loving talking. I'm loving it. And I had a beautiful conversation with y'all this morning. If you all did not see that video, we were pretty much talking about politics, and we went in, and we're gonna go in today as well. But when I was checking out the Lovelyti video, I mean, the tea sippers are upset, honey. And I'm like, well, first of all, why are y'all upset? What? Like, for real. Like, why y'all upset? Okay. I do my job. I cover videos. I talk about a subject. People respond. I'm going to say it again. I talk about a subject, and I'm not burning no bridges. I never had a bridge with Lovelyti. I don't want to be sued. I'm not trying to get sued, and Lovelyti is not going to sue us. So I did this video about Lovelyti on last night, and the comments that you all were sending me, the nasty messages and everything like that, I'm like, I'm over it. Because I don't care who you support, but you can't tell me who I can talk about. All right? You can't. You can't tell me that I can't talk about Lovelyti. She is not God. She can be talked about. And I talked about her with love. It ain't my fault that I said that she's a hypocrite. That's my opinion. She have hypocrited, and she have flipped off the position of Kandi. She was defending Kandi, showing her love. She got invited to parties, and I came out and I said, why are you dragging her now? Saying that she shouldn't have thrown the microphone when you you went on a whole crying fit when Tasha K, called you on the phone, and you almost had a breakdown because you felt bad about Kandi, and you said that Star Maria was doing some Dr. CB dark magic and making your hair fall out and making you get swollen ankles and making your editor computer to shut off. Those are the allegations you were saying. So you can't get mad when I'm talking about you. I don't understand creators. And I had her on the phone, and she was so angry. Like, I don't understand. Like, I can't, like, y'all talk about everybody, but then y'all mad about what I say. I don't understand it at all, because we all talk about folks. And where is it that YouTubers say, well, we don't pull to talk about each other. I mean, we have always done it. I mean, I go all the way back from Justin J talking about, or King of Reeds roasting and gagging the Scorpion Show, the Scorpion Show roasting and gagging King of Reeds roasting and gagging Star Marie, etc. Okay? Like, I'm not understanding. Y'all can talk about all these other people, but don't talk about me though. I don't understand that. And I talk about people. I release the video. And we have a conversation. They said, "But Wiley, people talk about you, but you don't give a response." I said, "People talk about me a lot of times." I had YouTubers that became members wanted to have a beef, but I told them, I said, "Brother, don't beef with me. I'm a smaller creator. If you want to beef with creators, let me give you a blueprint. You beef with people bigger than you. Don't like Wade. Like, don't come for me. Like, it don't make sense because I'm not gonna give you that energy because I'm just not." And so he took my advice and he started dragging Armand. You know what I'm saying? He took his advice or whatever the case may be. And I said, "Well, you go?" And then he went, and then he said, "Oh, well, let me go try to drag right." It ain't gonna work. It only work when I'm giving the energy. It ain't gonna work because you're gonna be just talking to yourself. And he moved on, talked about Armand, got in a lawsuit, multiple lawsuits, Armand Wiggins, malnutrition, etc. Now he's on a whole nother scale in all of that. So that's how they come with the same thing when it comes to, Lovelyti and the tea. I said what I said. I said it's a couple of folks that had some of her tea. They had bad diarrhea. That's their experience. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. That's their experience. And people say, "Well, I was wondering what went on with the tea." And then people are saying, "Well, I thought I was by myself with the diarrhea. I had bad diarrhea." And people were just definitely saying it. And we did an episode. It was fine. We doing good over here. Having a great time over here. Beautiful, beautiful interactions with the audience last night. And y'all viewed it. And we posted it because sometimes when we do a 6-hour video, you may not catch the 6 hours. You may catch it in a smaller forum. And that's how people are commenting and having these conversations. And people were saying, "Well, you burn a bridge with Lovelyti." I never had a bridge with her. I don't want a bridge with her. I don't. First of all, she's a bitter Black woman. I don't like to be around bitter women. I like to be around educated, strong-minded, not bitter, that don't have baby daddy drama, can't keep no man. I don't keep all the women I'm around, they can keep a man. Lovelyti cannot. That's just me being honest. And I'm just giving my honest opinion when it comes to that. And I felt slighted in a sense that Cardi B was literally helping Lovelyti help her business. And she kicked her in the back. That ain't right. She kicked her in the back. She kicked that woman in the back. And when she kicked her in the back, I said, "Hey, I got this is wrong. This is extremely wrong. It's not right that she is doing this to her audience and trying to paint this picture that she's so holy, that she ain't meant. She's very spiteful and a messy, bitter Black woman. She is." And so that's what made me have this conversation about her, talk about this on my show, go live and respond to it. And I drove this conversation home because so many people were sending me messages about it. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to respond to it today on the Wiley Show because I can talk about it." And we had a beautiful live, and I responded to a couple of tea sippers that were producers, and they were getting me together on the phone, and we had beautiful dialogue. I don't mind listening, and shout out to the tea sippers that did call me today. They were very professional. We can agree to disagree, but like I said on that phone, to some of the tea sippers, you don't control me. You don't control how I feel. I will give my opinion. This is a talk show. I don't have the power to tell Lovelyti not to do this because when I tried to give a suggestion, she hung up the phone. She didn't give me that same courtesy to a listening ear. So why would I give her the same courtesy? Oh, I shouldn't do that because she don't like it. No, absolutely not. I'm going to talk about her like she talk about everybody else, and like I get talked about daily. I mean, so many videos have been made about me, and I don't care nothing about it because I put the energy out and I talk about people. All right. So if you upset about the Lovelyti thing, go drink some of that tea and get some diarrhea. Or don't watch. But you're going to watch because you love us. And it's a good show. You love us. And just say that. All right. We just had to say that about Cardi B. And we talk about her a lot. We drag Cardi a lot. But I feel like it's sad to drag a woman that have helped you, Lovelyti, to become a successful businesswoman. And it ain't her fault that people are getting rashes and bumps from your skincare line. That's not her fault. And I just had to say that honestly on this show. All right. So we're going to move on from that. Okay. We're going to move on from that. I just had to say that. Can y'all hear me good? Press 1. We are in it because we got a lot of topics to get into. They said, you know you love Cardi, Wiley. Lovelyti said, what? Well, you missed it. You got to go watch the previous video. I can't do a whole nother recap about that. You got to go watch the whole nother recap on the video. I got a whole segment on there. You could just type her name up in my channel. You would see it. All right. Okay, y'all can hear me. All right, let's go ahead on and get into this. Let's get into this. Let me make sure I got my little lineup because it helped me. Shout out to the phone because it keep me organized. It keep me organized today. Now, this story that I see on the screen, you see a hospital, and I did not know this in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky, that it's a such thing as patient dumping. So I want you all to hear me. I saw this going across my timeline on YouTube. That shout out to the news out there in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky, that in the hospital, they are literally dumping patients back on the street. It was a older woman that I believe an older black woman. She had some health issues, and they refused. They kicked her out of the hospital and dumped her on the street. It was another case of it was a white man. He was in an accident. They dumped him outside, threw him out on the street. It was an older lady that had breathing issues. The security escorted her out of the hospital and dumped her on the corner off the hospital property. They dumped another lady, an older white lady, in the soil, in feces and urine, in a soil hospital gown, and just dumped her out on the street. And so I was saying, this is happening in America. This is happening in this society, and this is wrong, and not too many people are talking about it. That typically, Kentucky is a Republican state, and they don't have a lot of services, and so they call the hospital, and the hospital were saying that they don't have enough services, community services, to put these people in to help them. Hold on 1 second, y'all. They don't have any service to put these people in. Hold on. What's going on with my camera? Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure. All right. Let me pull this. And they just dumping these poor folks on the street. And then they told the hospital, one of the this guy, his mother, called the hospital and she was like, well, where my son? And they said, oh, he's at the rehab place. We're gonna put him in the rehab place. So what they did was, give me a second. They put him at the rehab, and it wasn't no rehab. They literally tried to put him in a homeless shelter. And the homeless shelter was like, no, we're not a rehab facility. We don't have any medical equipment. He can't come here. This is not a hospital. This is a shelter. So then they just dumped him on the street. So when she called, she was looking for her son. They was like, well, he's at this facility. He's there. And to find out that they just dumped him on the street. And the news was like, they let us know in the story that the mother, she passed away. And they questioned the son. And he said, yeah, they just dumped us out in the street like a piece of garbage. And these hospitals have been doing this for a long time. It's an anti-dumping laws where hospitals cannot dump you on the street. And it's difficult because a lot of folks don't have the resource to fight this. These are unhoused individuals. And the hospital are saying, what do you all want us to do? We give them medical treatment, but we're not a shelter. We can't house them forever. We, in so many words, they're trying to say is, we got to make money. Okay. And I feel like that's so disgusting that we are putting people on the street in this country. And this is why folks have to understand, you have to, when you vote for these people like Mitch McConnell, that is the senator of that state. He's the Senate minority leader, and he's a senior U.S. senator from Kentucky. It's a seat that he held since 1985. And when I look at this story, this man got the best healthcare that money can buy. And his policies is the reason why the system is set up like this. They've got limited Medicaid expansion, limited food stamps, limited resources. And here he is, can have a medical emergency and get the best hospital care that money can buy. They're not dumping him on the corner of the street. But yet, these are poor white folks and some blacks that are going through in the state of Kentucky. And this is not being talked about. And it's disheartening that this is going on. And shout out to the lawyer that have sued the hospital twice. I believe in one case they won $1.5 million because they just dumped a person on the street and they died. I believe they went into cardiac arrest and they had a heart attack and they just died, and they just dumped them on the street. This is going on, you guys, and it's not right. It's not right at all. It is wrong. And my thing is, if you know that you have a lot of unhoused people, then federal resources, state resources need to come out, and they need to bring money to house the people that don't have housing, to house senior citizens. You got a lot of homeless senior citizens that are homeless. This lady, she was homeless. She's a senior citizen, had breathing problems, and they just dumped her. Literally had to walk her. You can see it on the video. Had to walk her. She was struggling to get to the corner. The security, about 3 of them, walked her off the hospital ground and left her outside. And so the media was there. And the reason why the media got aware of this is because a hospital worker called the news. And she called the news. And when she called the news, she told them that they are dumping patients on the street. And I've heard this before, where they dump mentally ill patients on the street from other parts of this country. I've heard this before, But this is just so sad that these Republican places that all speak about our policies are so great, we're better than blue, we're better than these blue run places, and here y'all are dumping y'all folks on the street. No media folks talking about it. They're so obsessed with President Trump and his indictment. We're going to get into that. But they're dumping people on the street. It's not their fault that they're homeless. You know, it should be a safety net to house them. But you're dumping them. You're literally taking an oath, and then you get them and you dump them. And it's so sad. And so when I saw this story, I'm like, it got to be something involved or something need to happen. When I look at who their senator was, I wasn't shocked. I'm like, what? And a lot of times the people in that place, they have to take some type of owner or credit, or they got to get some type of blame because you're voting for these people in office. But a lot of these white folks, they have been gooped, they have been hoodwinked, they have been bamboozled because they've been lied to since they was a little kid. You poor and white, and you've been taught, yes, you poor and white, but you ain't black. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard, because poor is poor. There is no difference between being poor white and being poor black. Broke is broke. But because of these wealthy, powerful people lying to poor whites, telling them to vote against your interests because you're not black, so don't vote to help them. Any program that is going to help poor black folks are going to help poor white people. There is no difference between your race and you being poor. Poor is poor. The problem is that some white-wing Republicans, stump-down Republicans, are voting against their interests because they're uneducated, high school diploma or less. You're voting against healthcare, and you don't have any hospitals. The hospitals that you do have don't want to have you there because you don't have no insurance, and they want to dump you on the street. But these are the same people that say, I want to go against President, I want to go against Obamacare, but I like the Affordable Care Act. That's the same thing, but you've been lied to. And then I look at people and I study them, and they're watching a lot of Fox News. Not the problem with it, but the issue with Fox News, you're getting a diluted narrative that are telling you about government subsidies programs is like slavery. That's stupid. You need these programs because you need Social Security. If they cut Social Security off or healthcare off, who's going to suffer the most? Poor people. You're going to suffer the most. So when you're preaching and voting for these people that say, "Hey, I want to erase entitlement programs," that's going to affect you too, Miss Whitey, Miss Karen. That's going to affect you too. If you're on Social Security, if they take that away, you're going to get harmed from that. If they take away Medicaid and Medicare, there is no more nursing homes. It will be no more nursing homes. Only people that can afford nursing homes will be people that have money. So when you preach these dangerous ideas, extreme ideas, it will affect poor whites and poor black, poor people, period. Because the people that's on these entitlement programs are poor. And where wealthy people get entitlement programs too. They call it tax credit. They call it, you don't have to pay taxes. Oh, you can write it off your taxes. Look at all of these welfare ideas that they're getting. And then when you look at the state, when you look at Kentucky, when you look at all these poor states in the union, most of them are conservative states. Most of them are conservative states that they have to get so much of their budget comes from the federal government. It's coming from the California share of taxes, New York share of taxes, Illinois share of taxes. Most of the poorest states in the union are run by Republicans. This is just the data. And most of their budget got to come from the federal government. So when I'm seeing this particular story, it's hurtful because even though I can just beat them, but y'all vote for this, but still my heart as a human, as a Christian, ain't gonna let me just because you voted. It's still wrong. Even though we can blame, oh, that ain't right, but it's still wrong that is going on. It's still wrong. And it's sad that this is going on in this country. So when I saw this story, I was hurt. I said, wow, doesn't make any sense. I'm like, dumping them on the street? What? And so, and the lawyer was saying that, the jury don't like penalizing hospitals. But in one particular case, they won. They filed an appeal. And in the appeal, the jury was like, no, y'all got to pay that money. The hospital was wrong. You can't do that. It is wrong. It is unethical. It is not right. And so when I saw this story, I immediately want to talk to y'all about it because some of y'all probably didn't see it. And I will post the story in the comments here for those that want to go back and watch it for yourselves. And they're calling it, I'm worthless, troubleshooter investigate patient dumping allegations. And I want to say shout out to the media. This is why media matters. Okay? Media matters. And that's why we have to support our media, because I would have never seen it if it wasn't on the news. So it's just like, wow. So I'll post it in the chat and I'll let you all see it right now. If you all want to go back and watch it on your own time, you can. But they said right and wrong don't have a political ideology. That's true. It don't. And when I saw this story, I immediately was disgusted. I was disgusted. I said, what? They are dumping these people on the street like they're garbage. And these their own kind. These are white folks. They're just dumping them, on the street, because it's something that a lot of poor whites have to understand. You still poor. And you've been lied to. And you better get it together and start voting for your interests that's going to help benefit you in the long run, and not talking about trying to benefit your fake power of being of a superior race, because you ain't superior if you broke. What are you superior of? The trailer park? The homeless shelter? Because that you need to throw that out the window. That's because it's weird. Superior of what? You ain't got no money. That white supremacy only work for people with wealth. When you poor, that don't mean absolutely nothing. You can't pay your bills. That spirit thrives for more like powerful, wealthy people. But to keep their power and that spirit alive, they would use you as poor pawns. You poor and white will use you and feed you this energy, give you this false power that you're so superior because you're white, but you poor, right? Only people that's thriving off of white supremacy is powerful, wealthy folks. All right, let's show an example of the power of that. Let's go to our other topic here. Now, we're going to talk about President Donald J. Trump. And I'm going to tell you about how sick this system is. Now, mind you, President Donald Trump has been indicted, not one time, not two times, three times, so many times I lost count. This never happened before for a former president to be indicted. This is the first ever in history. And I just want to read a tweet that someone sent to me, and I want to read this tweet. And someone said this, quote, "There's something wrong with America when black men that are profiled and convicted can no longer vote, but a twice impeached white man criminally indicted 3 times can still run for the president of the United States. And many people are saying, oh, Wiley, he can't run. Brother, you don't know. You have not read the Constitution. There is no section in the Constitution that forbids President Trump to run for president. There is no section in the Constitution that forbid him to be the new, to get elected, right? There is no law on the books that say that if he get convicted of a crime and get a prison sentence, that will forbid him to run. If you want him out, let's say for instance, to help this argument, let's say he get elected, he win, boom, he get convicted of all these charges, got to serve hundreds of years in prison. In order to remove him from office, you got to go right. You got to look at the Constitution. The only way to remove him is him to be impeached. But it's a little flaky because the House will have to impeach him, and it goes to the Senate, and they do the trial. If the Senate say no, which they're going to say no, because if he win in 2024, there is a guarantee that Trump will have more support in the House, and he may have more support in the Senate. It could be Republicans taking over the House and the Senate in 2024. It could be. So if that's the case, then it's highly unlikely he will be removed. Let's say if he get convicted and all of that, it will be a special circumstance when you've never seen it before. Then maybe he'll get some type of probation, or he will just be at the White House, and they'll probably say, okay, we will let him serve out his presidency, and then he will have to go and go to prison, and he could pardon himself for those federal charges. Now, state probably different. He can't do that. But he can pardon himself on the federal level. That's the power that he has. It's in office, and the Supreme Court will side with him because it's in his constitutional power to do it. Because the way that it's written, he can do it. So that's how to go. And then people say, well, the Constitution didn't predict that a president would be committing crime. They didn't predict that. They did. It was many presidents that were committing crime. They were having slavery. It was so much crime. It's your definition of what is a crime is. Okay. But at the end of the day, what is he criminal? Yeah. So he have been indicted. He's not been convicted yet. He's been indicted of multiple charges. I mean, he was telling people from the Department of Justice to talk to electors to get them to change their mind. He had lawyers trying to do this. He told people at Mar-a-Lago to delete the videotape. It's a lot that he tried to do. But with that being said, I ran a poll with my audience. I did. I ran a poll, and on my community wall, and I asked my audience, I said, if the election was held today, who will you vote for? If you had two choices, I put Donald Trump and I put Joe Biden. 51% said Donald Trump. 49% said Joe Biden. What this poll is telling me is that the media is painting this picture that is over for Trump, and that's not the reality. Because even when I look at their polls of him running in the primaries, he's still dominating the field over 53, 54%. Don't nobody come close to him. So there is no Republican yet that is up there with Trump. And because people vote for what they see a lot of Trump. And you got to understand, this is not a general election yet. We're talking about primaries. And for Trump base, they are engaged, they are entertained, and the Iowa caucus is not until next year, I believe. When is the Iowa caucus? Give me a second. I want to make sure the Republican Iowa caucus, I believe. Okay. Give me a second there. I believe that is, give me a second. I want to make sure I get it on here. All right, let's see. That to me, I think January 15th is the Iowa caucus, if I'm not mistaken. They're saying right here, next year, Iowa Republican presidential caucus will be held in mid-January, about 3 weeks earlier than the past two primary cycles. State GOP officials announced Saturday. The first in the nation caucus will take place on January 15th, 2024, following a vote from the Iowa State Republican Party Central Committee. January 15th, Monday, is a federal holiday, Martin Luther King Day. That's earlier than in both 2020 and 2016 when the caucus was held the first Monday in February, but it's about 2 weeks later than 2020, 2008. So he got into January. And I don't see a candidate that's actually doing it. And for the thing is, I need to see where they're at, and Trump is leading in every state right now. For all of the caucus he's leading. We shall see. But it will not surprise me if Trump wins the nomination. There is no other candidate that I can name that's going toe-to-toe with President Trump. Now you hear Mike Pence saying that his lawyers, that I believe in the Constitution. Now you hearing Mike Pence talking and trying to grow some cojones, but it's too late. You should have done this the day Trump told you to do this. What you should have did, resigned. You should have resigned, or you should have implemented the 25th Amendment. Let me make sure, where they say he's incompetent. Give me a second. I'm going to make sure. All right. The 25th Amendment says in case of a removal of president for office, or death, or resignation, the vice president show they should have did that. Or just saying, hey, I believe it's the 25th Amendment that he could have implemented or tried to say that he was incompetent or something. And I believe that if his administration, if most of his advisors just with power side with Vice President Pence, he could have done it. He didn't do any of that. Pence would have to come out with all Trump dirt to even have a chance at the nomination. And he's not doing it because he had a chance to side with Democrats to pretty much tell his administration, call for a meeting to vote Trump out. But he didn't do that. He had a perfect opportunity. Soon when January 6th happened, Vice President Pence should have said, "Hey, let's get him out. Let's vote. Let's get him out. Let's get all of the people. Let's get the cabinet members together, and let get the cabinet and you need majority of them to side with you, and they could just remove President Trump from office." He didn't do it. He didn't get the cabinet. He didn't do it. He actually annoyed Nancy Pelosi phone calls when she said, "Hey, you need to do this," but he didn't do it. So now you're trying to run, and Mike Pence. Let's look at it really quickly. Mike Pence, okay. Give me a second. Let's see. Primary polls here. And this is on the New York Times. This is like the big one. 54% said Donald Trump. DeSantis, 17%. Mike Pence, 3%. Tim Scott, 3%. Christie, 2%. Like, this ain't. And we thought Ron was going to be the one, but Ron messed up because Trump It's going to use everything that Ron passed in Florida is going to make fun of him. He don't believe in slavery, and I know he's part of the KKK. He don't believe it. And the African Americans, they love me, Ron. They love me. I would never take African American history. African American have built this country from the ground up. And you said, Ron, believe me, you said it. I know you said it, Ron. You said that slavery, that the slaves, they learned skills. Believe me, the slaves were enslaved. They worked till night. The sun was out until the sun set. They didn't make any money. Slavery was wrong in this country. Wrong. It was wrong. It was so wrong. And African Americans, they know it was wrong. And you, Ron, it's dangerous. You should not be president. You know, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. I think Ron, with his strategy, is outdated. And Trump never passed any policies that extreme saying, let's get Black history out of schools. He didn't have no policy like that. So he helped fund HBCUs, even though it was some Democrats that sponsored the bill, but he helped with criminal justice reform. So Trump done a lot. He helped get a lot of Black men out of prison. So Ron ain't got a good track record with Black folks. And that's one of his major weaknesses that Trump is going to feed into because Trump, when we was talking last night and people were shocked that Black men, that he got most of his Black male support, and that it is articles that said Democrats have been losing Black men vote every cycle. They have been losing that support from Black men. Some Black men are abandoning the Democratic Party and they're jumping to the Republican Party. And so and they have been losing it ever since 2012. And so and they really lost it with Hillary, because Black men don't want to see women in power. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see women in power. They don't want to see a woman president. That's why they did not vote for Hillary Clinton like that. So we shall see. They are losing when it comes to Black men. Black men do not see it for President Biden. They are loving Trump. And if Trump have a strong message to Black men, Democrats will lose. Democrats have been taking the Black vote for granted for decades, but they definitely been taking for granted the Black male vote for decades, for generations. And so now Republicans see a weakness that, oh my gosh, that we are now getting Black men to vote for us. And so we got to cater towards that base. That's why they did something with criminal justice reform. A lot of Republicans, they did something with criminal justice reform. Now Trump made sure to pardon a lot of Black people. So that's going to be something. If it lasts around with Black folks, if Black men go to in the 70 percentile, Republicans sweep. They cannot win. In order for Democrats to stay in power, Black men must stay with Black women at the 90%, 80 to 90, like 89 to 90%. If they take and it dropped down to in the 70%, that's it. They done. You lost. You can't do it. Let me see. I'm going to try to find that article that I was reading last night, because this was on NBC. And you could even go to BBC really quickly. That U.S. election, they said, why Trump gained support among minorities. They said a Republican president gained 6% point among Black men, 5 percentage points among Hispanic women It means some voter changed their mind after either not voting or not voting for another candidate in 2016. But it tells us something about Trump's unique appeal. I was definitely more liberal growing up. My grandmother was big in the civil rights movement here in Texas during the 60s, and I grew up with that ideology. They said this a person that was a graduate student from Houston, Texas, mixed heritage, Mexican. He said he didn't vote in 2016, and he is a loyal to either major party. But this time around, he decided to cast his vote for the Republicans. The first time Trump ran, I really wasn't convinced. I just thought, here's this celebrity talk show host guy that wants to run for president. I didn't take him seriously. So I was not a Trump supporter the first time he ran. To be honest, I thought he was a ringer for Hillary, so I just wasn't interested. He told BBC News. But he said, upbringing in Texas influences view on both political parties. People forget Texas used to be a blue. That people forget that they do. Pro-Democrat state, he said. The blue here wasn't like the progressives that we think of now. They were more like old school Southern Democrats, very racist, very intolerant. So it's a totally different party. And I experienced growing up a lot of racism. They said, so let me scroll down here. And this is something, man, where what black men are supporting. Black men support for Trump rises among minorities. He have gained 6 percentage points to 19% of black men. Black women, he have gained like 5 percentage points of black women. Black Hispanic men, 36%. Hispanic women, 30%. Asians, 38%. So people cannot discard Trump. You can't. You cannot, because once Trump go out on the campaign trail, he's going to be catering towards black men. Already they dealing with an immigration problem issue there. One idea of him saying those migrants coming for black man jobs and it's difficult for, under me, unemployment was low, but Biden is getting all these migrants. He's going to give all of your jobs. Like, it's so many ideas that Trump can have to cater and campaign to get black men to vote for him. And even some black women, you can get it too. It's time that black folks have serious competition for their vote. We have not been appreciated by Democrats for decades. We have been neglected from the Democratic Party for decades. So now it's time to look at the other side. It's time for both parties to really, really, really fight for the black vote. All right. But we shall see. All right. I just had to say that. And with the illegal immigration problem, more black women and black men are going to vote Trump or don't vote at all. So that's how that's going to play out. Do I believe, let me say this because he was indicted on multiple charges. Do I believe Trump going to be in a prison jumpsuit? No, I don't believe it. Don't believe that at all, that Trump is going to be in a jumpsuit. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. He did even have a mugshot. All right. I don't believe that at all. Let's just keep that all the way clear. I don't believe he going to have a mugshot. But let's move on from that. Okay. That is what I don't believe. I don't believe that man, because you didn't even see this man have a mugshot. He didn't get fingerprint. He didn't have a mugshot. So all this stuff that supposed to happen, him supposed to get this mugshot and all that. Usually when you go to prison, you get a mugshot, but this didn't happen for him. You supposed to get a mugshot. You supposed to, you know what I'm saying, fingerprinting and all of that. None of that happened. So this is, I don't see Trump getting a jumpsuit. I don't see that at all. Not at all. You can stop it with that. Now, LeBron James, y'all know who LeBron James is. A super NBA superstar, multiple NBA champion. But his school is failing. They can't pass a basic math test. They don't know 1 + 1 = 2. So they have been dragging LeBron James in the news. His school, I Promise School, have flunked the test, never passed it. All 8th graders have flunked the state math test. They can't pass the math test. Maybe LeBron James needs to get Joe Clark to be the principal. And they dig him up out the grave and let him be the principal, but they can't pass a basic math test. That means they can't hardly read. So with LeBron James, I want to say it's multiple reasons for this. Number one, um, um, LeBron James school has been dealing with so many issues. Number one, the Rona, the COVID, remote learning. A lot of schools are suffering from that because a lot of students got lost in the sauce from remote learning. A lot of those students, anyway, were already behind in math. They're doing a little bit better, but it's going to take time. You got to understand when you're bringing kids into a better environment with good schooling and all of that, it's a lot. It's on the parents, got to train them up as well. A lot of times, you're dealing with children that is not even on the 8th grade math level. There's some children that is out there. I was reading on a 4th grade, 5th grade math level. I was reading that is some kids on a reading level of 6th grade. They're in the 8th grade. Some is on a 5th grade reading level. They're not some high school students that are not even on a high school reading level. So it's a lot that is going on in our school system. Our school system is broken. A lot of students are behind even before COVID. They've been behind on their on in the books. So this is sad, but I don't blame LeBron James. I blame the system. Like, it's going to take time for those students to get caught up. I believe a lot of times those students need to have more tutoring services on the weekend, at night classes, to get caught up. And it's going to take a village. It's going to take the parents to get more involved, as well as the teachers. And also the reason why I have to give some blame to LeBron James, I mean, every 8th grader lost, so some blame is on for his school and the teachers and his administration there. Maybe he need to clean house and see other schools that have been flunking in math and they're thriving, and see what did they do to be successful. But when I look at this and when I see the article, when you say every 8th grader failed the test, what are they teaching those kids in that primary school? What are they teaching them? I mean, it's been students in Baltimore that was flunking, and it's just in Chicago, some school districts, some districts, and that are flunking and behind. This is like a national trend in many parts of our country, that students are not on the proper level. They're just being pushed through like paper. But I cover this, and I know a lot of people, LeBron James, do not have day-to-day operations of the school, but he can use his power to get better people to run the school. But again, I will going to keep you updated with this. They say K-12 is not for little kids, and she shouldn't stay. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot. When I'm looking, I'm really, really looking from this, because when I saw this article on here about LeBron James, it immediately made me like, oh my gosh, it's a lot, and they have put this on. Give me a second, because it was on. I think it was on 8th graders at LeBron I Promise School haven't passed a single math test in 3 years. The school respond. LeBron James Family Foundation I Promise School in Ohio has responded to recent media coverage of this discouraging test results. As first reported by a regional outlet, they said they soon to be 8th graders at the public school haven't passed the math part of their state exam since 2018-2019 school year. They said at that time, the report notes that students in question were 3rd graders. A core key to the other time period in question is C19, the impact of the pandemic felt at schools nationwide, where many students and educators still adjusting to a changing landscape today. In fact, a source close to the situation tells Complex that reports focus on the available data from the time frame, are in turn citing unreliable data. James Foundation first launched a Okra area school in 2018 with a focus on providing assistance to at-risk students. 1 year later, per reports at the time, test scores among students were shown to have increased dramatically. We are reuniting dreams that was okay. So this pretty much what the school said is definitely have improved. So we will get more information about this. Hopefully, the school succeed. You know what I'm saying? It's a good idea. A lot of our black are great at their story, but aren't fit to be black leaders or change the life for black people. Their wealth stay with the family only. Wow. Y'all are going to teachers can't take all the blame if they didn't try to get them up. Yeah, so LeBron himself isn't the smartest person. That's why they oh my gosh. Y'all is roasting. Let me move on. Y'all is roasting that man for Phil. Okay. They say I know guys, it was harder than ever during these times. Honestly, yeah, it's a lot. He can't say anything to pro-black because he gets paid by those people. LeBron needs an African school. Well, at least he got his school out. Okay, he got to get it together. Okay, I know y'all is dragging LeBron James in this comment. I didn't know y'all was dragging this man. Y'all was dragging him, Doctor. Baby, they dragging this man, Dr. Umar. Okay, at least he got his school out better than Dr. Umar. All right. Okay, at least he got that school out better than Dr. Umar. Let's just keep that all the way clear. And where's Dr. Umar at? Dr. Umar and Sukihana. They have linked up, y'all. So finally they linked up. And she was all dressed and showing love. And it was just an amazing support that they are out. And, you know, of course, Sukihana is out. Look, ooh, that's so great. So, y'all do know Dr. Umar and Sukihana had a relationship, and Sukihana said she wanted to give Dr. Umar some. And you know, and they met linked up. He's supposed to be the African, African prince, African. You know, he's more pro Africa. Marcus Garvey cousin. I think he Marcus Garvey nephew. No, he Frederick Douglass cousin. Okay, something like that. But then the family of Frederick Douglass said he ain't related to Frederick Douglass. Anyway, so they linked up. But Sukihana's also in the docket too because Sukihana, she was in special ed. So let me play this clip, you guys. I did not know she was in special ed, but she was in special ed. Let's look at what she said. Give me a second here.
This is not a judgmental lie, but I'm not gonna lie. Being in a small class, in a special class, I learned that now they shouldn't do that no more. Instead of putting children in a slower class and making everybody that we have to walk past people in the slow class of 8 people while the other classes got 40 and 30, we gotta walk past them and they say, oh, you in a slow class. How about let's start changing that and just putting extra teachers in the classroom because it's really humiliating and hurts. And it also adds to people having commitments issues, trust issues, and not being able to learn how to make friends. If you were left-handed, or you was in a special ed class, or you did have ADHD, something that I have, don't ever feel like you less than nobody. God made you creative. God made you special. God made you smart. I do shows right now, and thousands of people are paying to come see me.
So I want to interject on that from a person that was in special ed, all of mine, all the way up to high school until I graduated. I do understand. I have to say that. And for growing up, Illinois, Chicago public school system, CPS, I felt different. I knew I was different. They do separate you. Even when they took an exam, we will go and do an exam in another class, something like a smaller classroom, but it's like 4 or 5 people. And, you know, it was totally different. I felt different. The bullying, like they knew I was in a slow class. Everybody knew it. and it felt different. And I agree with Sukihana. I don't think they should separate. I think that if you have kids that are learning at a slower pace, um, you should keep them in the same classroom. Give everybody extra time. But it was just so sad that we were going through that, as growing up in school, and having that separation from the regular kids, and it brought a lot of bullying to me, and it hurt me, and I didn't even want to do it anymore. But that shifted when I got to high school, and I met John D. Evans. He was my special ed teacher. He actually was my IEP person over the IEP, because when you're in special ed, you got to go through IEP. You have meetings and stuff like that. But he was over that, and it changed my whole perspective of special ed. I didn't feel slow. I felt that he had me in debate. I was winning debate awards. I Under him, I almost got into AP. I started improving history. I started thriving. My grades started to pick up, and he got me into Know Your Heritage, and we start. I was on television, thanks to John D. Evans. May he rest in peace. He was a so good teacher. I mean, he was into poetry. And I will never forget the first day I was in Division 902, because in high school we had division, and he came through, and he was so strict, big feet, tall, and he looked like my father. And of course he opened up. He was just a cool teacher. He's my favorite teacher, and I loved him. He was so educated and so smart. And I would never forget dealing with racism. I never knew it until when I went in high school. And it was a white gentleman. He said, "You're not smart enough to go to what was the school, that a military school. Everybody went there. It's like a top military school. Can't think of the name, because everybody in Chicago military Academy, we always wanted to go there. West Point, yes. So I wanted to apply for West Point. I would apply for colleges or whatever. And he said, "You are not smart enough for West Point." And he was my special ed teacher too, Mr. Singleton. I will never forget it. His name was Mr. Singleton. He said, "You're not smart enough." And I told Mr. Evans about that. And it's just a lot. And then Mr. Evans started dealing with racism as well. Mr. Singleton replaced him with less education and stuff. And I just remember that being in high school, and I've noticed some things. And then I haven't seen Miss Evans in a while, and he left because it was just so much. And then he came back. He took like a mental health break or something he had to take. It was a lot that he was going through mentally at the job, a lot of discrimination, a lot of racism. I mean, the principal is very racist there as well. But out of all of that, he was just great for his students. The students, we loved them. I personally loved them. He always educated me. He told me about myself. He kept me in school if I missed a day in school, because at one point I stopped going to school. I wasn't going like that. He called. He said, "You better be back in school." And I came back in school, and it was so great. Like my last 2 years in school, because I think he came my junior year. No, he must came my sophomore year. And my last two, um, my last two years in high school was great. I had such a honor. That's when I started telling jokes. I started being about that life. And Miss Evans was a big part of that. He was so great. He was so entertaining. He was just a great guy. He knew when I had a bad day. I would go in his office. He would help me with write a paper. He just was there. He helped me keep my grades at a good level. He just great advice, just great advice. And when he passed, it hurt me. And of course, he was gay. And I didn't know that until like when I was a senior, because I called, and I'm assuming that was his boyfriend. And I was like, "Oh, I think he is." And I said, "Okay." And then once I've gotten got out of high school, we just developed this relationship. We developed a great relationship as just he was a great mentor. He would listen to my show. He would give me advice. It was just a great guy, and I never looked at him like that because my mind went into all that stuff. My mind was just being young, church. I was just so involved. I said, "You got to come to my church." He was a preacher. He was a pastor, a minister, and it was just so great. Shout out to John Veal, another special ed teacher. I just remember the special ed teacher. I remember their name because they were so. One thing I can say about special ed classes that the teachers were there. We spent so much time together, and I will never forget John Veal, Pastor Veal. Um, he know who I am, and I think I told a teacher that he's not the best teacher. He didn't too much know the math problems like that. He struggled with math too. And I think I told somebody, and they told Mr. Ville. He said, "Why did you say that?" And me and Mr. Ville had a little problem the same year, but and then me and him got into it about women pastors. I didn't believe in women preachers. I was a kid, baby. I would, whatever I learned from church, I would bring that idea to school. I would bring my Bible. I remember one time, and it's just like, because we especially got a lot of time. So I would bring my Bible. We would talk about the scripture. I was so like involved in the scripture. And I would go to my grandmother. I'm like, "What's in the Bible? Do God kill?" And she gave me a scripture in there. And then I went back to school. We had these debates about the Bible, and I just remember that. So, but back to Sukihana point, I don't believe that children should be separated from any. I think we all should be in there, but I just love it. I was so involved in school. I loved it. I love that it was just a great thing. I loved it. Like it was good. I will never forget it. Taking a cab with Mr. Evans and getting in Mr. Evans' car. He would drive us to the debate. Mr. Evans actually he called, and I forgot the young gentleman was a white dude from University of Chicago, and he came from University of Chicago to Chicago Military Academy to train us in debate. And they was wondering like why we were so good in debate because Mr. Evans got in contact with the University of Chicago and got a young college student. He was short. I forgot his name, but he started training us in debate. And we would have to print out all these papers, and I would have a big binder thing with all the papers we had to print out, and we would just train for hours, and it was so good. And I appreciate that from Mr. Evans for that. And I appreciate my upbringing from Chicago Military Academy. I love Chicago Military Academy. I hate that we never had a reunion, but it kept me out the streets. And I don't talk bad about special education because it helped me. It helped me for who I am today. I feel like my mother could have been better and giving me tutoring. I think she failed in that department. But again, she was a poor mother, didn't graduate from high school. At that time, she didn't graduate. She went back and got her diploma. But um, she was going through life. No good man. He wanted to work when he wanted to work. He couldn't manage money like that. She had 6 kids. So it was a lot that she had to go through and growing up under. She was a young mother. So I don't put too much blame on her. But if I could, but now whenever I have children, I'm gonna just listen to what Tamla Mann and my mother said, that do with your children that your parents weren't able or did or that you feel that they didn't do for you. So you be that change for your children. So, but my advice is if you do have children in special ed, they don't have to stay on special ed. They can just get tutoring. My cousin Nishanta, this is Bishop Cartwright's daughter. Um, they wanted to put my cousin in special ed. And so my auntie Anita, she said, no, my daughter is not going on special ed. So due to the fact that my auntie, she graduated from college, she started tutoring my my cousin. And she did not get in special ed. She went to college. She graduated, got her master's. I think she got she got her master's. I remember when she graduated because I remember one time we went to her school to help her in her dorm and stuff, like to help bring stuff to her dorm when Bishop Cartwright went there. And she graduated. Uh, and it was just a blessing. Like it was a blessing that my cousin graduated, but they wanted to put her in special ed. They say, "Oh, she ain't learning right." So my auntie, because she was a work at home mom and she had the resources and she had the knowledge, and she had a working husband that worked at Cook County Hospital as a janitor, she raised and she trained and tutored my cousin, and she didn't have a life in special ed, and she pride on it. And so both her daughters, my cousin, he didn't graduate. Her son Melvin Jr., he didn't graduate. But both my cousin Ishanta and my cousin Lauren, we call her Nikki, they both have graduated and got degrees and PhDs. So it's a blessing. But it's like I just love the fact that I've saw that, and so I never put my child in special ed because it gives them a crutch. Because there is no special ed, life ain't like that. You ain't gonna be okay. You're special ed. We're gonna put you in a special room. Life ain't like that. You're gonna get the same hardship, the same struggles, the same. You got to get to it. So I don't want to paint this picture that everything is going to be catered to you. That you're going to have a secret room with extra time on tests. They don't have that in college, so it sets you up as a crutch. So no, you're gonna if it takes you that, we're gonna give you training while you're young and train you about math and reading, then it becomes second nature. All right. I just wish my mother would have done that for me, but thank God that she felt good enough she did the best that she could, and I was able to do the rest. And I thank God for that. Now I'm here entertaining y'all. But that just brings back so many memories being in special ed, and I just felt different. Like we would have to have a meeting, and people would talk about the meeting, and they would have conversations. I remember one time, and I shared the story before. I was in a meeting, and Mr. Evans, he was like, "Yo, because Wiley, he's been getting bullied. They're bullying Wiley." And it was this lady, she's stinking musty. She was my special ed person too. There was a lot of people in that meeting, and she said, "No, no, no, Mr. Wiley, he talk about people, he make fun of people, and he egg on a lot of stuff that go on." And she was musty in that meeting, and he get mad when people talk about him, and he want to cry, but then he be talking about people. And then my mama said in the meeting, I said, he got that from me because I like to talk about people, but I don't want nobody talking about me. So I've always been trolling and talking about people. That's just in my nature. I've always done it. I've done it in high school. And sometimes I would take the jokes too far, make fun of people, mamas and grannies, and I was just that type of person. I love being a class guy. We had a teacher, I think she was from Germany. What was she from? I know either Russian or Germany, but whatever. Miss Akovich, it was her name, Miss Akovich. She was my what was that? She was my geometry teacher, and I would make fun of her all the time. The way that she teach, I said, "Please speak English." I would make fun of her, and she would put me in. She would tell me to get out the class, and I would get out the class. They would just take me to special ed. And I would go in there, and he said, "Stop making fun of Miss Ekovich." And I would go back, making fun of her and everything like that. I said, "Please, ma'am, you need to learn English. Where are you from? This is America." And then we were singing a Star Spangled Banner, and I said, "You need to start singing the Star Spangled Banner because this is for American citizens only." Like I used to troll that teacher. What did I tell you? English. I just and what it didn't make me no different. It didn't make it no better, is what I'm saying, because the class would like egg you on and laugh, and that was like my feud. Like I just would never forget getting a reaction from the crowd, and I just had to be the class clown. I just had to be the class clown. I just love that reaction, and they're laughing. I love the audience. I loved it. And I just would never forget. I was just trolling. I was in debates. I was in arguments. I was into stuff like that. And yeah, I did get bullied. It was one time somebody burnt me with a cigarette lighter, and I think he hit me. He fought me, and I didn't want to press charges. But my dad came because my mother was never the active in our school. She just never wasn't. Um, so my dad came, and I think they called my grandmother, and I think my dad told them, well, his mother gonna want to press charges. Because at first I didn't want to press charges, but they override me because he was good looking. I mean, I thought he was my friend. I was weird. And so he burned me with a cigar. He beat me up. He burned me with a cigarette lighter. But I didn't want him. I didn't want him to go to jail. And I will never forget it. My mom, they pressed charges. They arrested him, and he got kicked out of school. And I just felt bad. And then it was more bullying. You a snitch. You a this. It wasn't, the word ops didn't exist, but I just remember that you was snitch and everything like that. And so, and but kids is cruel. So that was the topic for the day. Then something else happened in the middle. But I just remember that. I remember that for that. Like I remember because my grandma was very active in my school life. Like she was very active because I lived with my grandmother. Um, I moved out of my mom's house when I was so young because it was just so much going on in the house with the alcohol, the police coming every weekend. And so I wanted to move. I just wanted some peace. I just got tired of the breaking up the fights, the police coming every weekend. So I moved with my grandmother, and my grandmother, I graduated from Perkin Bass Elementary School, and we were looking for high schools. And this is when I knew about being slow. Because this is bringing back so many members. So everybody was getting their letters. Oh, yeah, Wiley. I already know. They have to, and we have some smart Jasmine, Mr. Putman's son, Joey Putman, his son. They have to accept slow kids for their budget. I can't even tell. So you're going to get approved. And I didn't think that, believe it. So I applied for Chicago Military Academy because I wanted to follow Mr. Putman's son. He was another great teacher, Mr. Putman. I liked his son. I liked Mr. Putman. He was a good, strong military type of teacher in school. And I said, hey, he said, my son going to Mr. Putman. And I looked at Mr. Putman as a father figure. So his son was going to Chicago Military Academy. Jasmine was going to University to Chicago Military Academy, Brownsville. So I said, hey, I want to go to Brownsville. And so I looked at the school. I said, I want to go to Brownsville. So I applied. I didn't think I was going to get in. And then I got the letter and I got in. And then I knew you was going to get it because you slow. So they got to pass you automatically. And I hear all this. I didn't care what they said. And then like my 8th grade, I think I boo-booed on myself. I think I did. It was pictured that I was nervous. I think I boo-booed on myself. And so they started calling me Doodle Stick. And they called another girl Mrs. Doodle. Either I doodle or I pass gas. I don't think I doodle on myself. I pass gas. And whatever the case may be, it was around the popular kids. So they called me Mr. and Mrs. Doodle Stick. But one other person, she was kind of popular. So her Mrs. Doodle Stick, they stopped calling her that. And it just stuck with me in 8th grade. Doodle Stick, Dookie Stick. Like that was like the name in the 8th grade. So I said, I'm done with this. I cannot wait to graduate. Shout out to Ms. Weathers. May she rest in peace. She was an 8th grade teacher. And I can sing. So I would start singing. I believe I can fly. Whatever I would sing. And he said, oh my gosh, Marquise, you can really sing. I love you. Like you could sing. And I graduated at 8th grade. And I went to high school. And I said, I'm done with this. I ain't no more Dookie Stick, whatever. I'm Wiley. I'm going to be a cadet or whatever. So I didn't know that in Chicago Military Academy, you got to go to school during the summer to prepare to march in the Bulliga Parade. And this is like my first time put on a military uniform. And then you had to deal with bullying there. Your ass going to Iraq. They're going to ship your black ass to Iraq. I can't even tell you. You going to Afghanistan. Your black ass going to Iraq. I kept hearing my black ass going to Iraq. I'm like, how I'm going to Iraq? They go, what did they say? What did they say? Because they kept saying it's not shipping. What did happen to get people to join the military? You get what in the military? Whatever that word is, I can't think of the word. But they kept saying that they go when they. What did they say? That? Oh my god, I can't think of the word. Oh my god, I can't think of the word. But they're gonna ship you. They didn't say ship. Of course, they said jab, but they said when they what is that word? It is on the tip of my tongue. But they kept saying that you're gonna go to the you're not gonna go to the you're gonna go to the military. Anyway, oh, they're gonna draft you. Thank you. They're gonna draft you to the military. Thank you. They're gonna draft you, whatever. So it was the word draft. But anyway, so we training for the Bullet Parade. So we get to the Bullet Parade. And I want to see if I can remember some of these people's names, because this is my 8th grade book. Do I have that person's name in this book? This is this 8th grade book. And it's in good condition. I'm trying to see if I can find her name. This in the Bass Elementary School. And shout out to Jamie, Rashonda, Jerry, Avery, Sean, and Sherman. And most of these people like church kids. Wow. This is June in 2005. Okay, I can't think of her name. But anyway, we was at the Bullet Parade, right? And it was like, doodle stick. I was like, oh no. And I tried the best to hide. But it was 2 people that came from me from 8th grade, and they didn't call me doodle stick. They kind of like forgot about it, whatever. Soon they see that doodle stick. There you go. Yeah, that's doodle stick right there. Joey and Jasmine put my business out there. And so one of the upperclassmen said, who is doodle stick? Where he at? Where doodle stick at? And I was so hurt. Everybody was like, what is the word? I was so hurt. I could have cried. Doodle stick. They kept saying, they taunted me at that Bullet Parade. They taunted me at that parade. And thank God that it was the summertime that they forgot about it. That doodle stick did not come and follow me in high school. It did not come follow me in high school. So thank God it did that. That ended. It happened like in 8th grade, but in high school it was a different story. But it was good. And then, in high school, you learn about yourself and you get, you know what I'm saying? I had crushes, not crutches, but I had a crush on a female and I was turned on. And they said, oh, he's on hard. And they said, oh my God. Like I was on hard. Like I can just remember like the first time being on hard in public. And when you're in military school, I don't know why I'm sharing on my business, but when you're in military school, my grandmother couldn't afford to put the clothes in the cleaners like you supposed to. She said, forget that. She would wash it and iron it, and it would shrink. And so if you get excited, it shows in your crotch. Okay? It shows in your crotch area. And I would definitely get that. I remember that, other because it wasn't too many like openly gay people in school, but I just remember these 2 guys. One was obese. I went into them, but it was another guy that was there that I had a huge crush. I had a crush on him. And we went to the school bathroom. Now it was cold then, and I didn't know I was ashy, and I didn't know my peen was ashy. So I was like, he started touching, and it was ashy, and whatever. He said, okay, we got, and then someone was coming in, so he hurried up, and so he told everybody that I had an ashy peen. I had an ashy peen, and then you got an ashy peen. So then my word was ashy peen. Like I just had a lot that went on, and then I said I'm done with dudes, and it was this fat girl, because everybody had girlfriends, and Mr. Muhammad, he, at the school, his last name was Muhammad, and I remember people last name because we didn't call people by our first name. Everybody was like Kim and Wiley, Kim and Muhammad, Kim and Putman. Everybody was like their last name, like you know what I'm saying. Everybody had their last name, so it was like, and then it was like Ashley Ping for me. Okay, so. Then I said, okay, everybody had girlfriends. And so we was in band. I don't know what made me join the band. I don't know what instrument I was joining the band, but it was this female that I liked. And she was beautiful. She smelled good. And we just started working on the drums or whatever, working in the band or whatever. And I'm sorry. I wasn't in the band. She was in the band. I was just being around her because we was friends, right? And then this one particular time, we just got together. We started kissing, making out. And I didn't want to hold her hand because I was ashamed because I didn't think I could pull a girlfriend, but she was kind of like fat. And I didn't want to get dragged that I got a fat woman. So she said, "Oh, you nervous?" And then we held hands. And they were so happy that we was together, whatever. And then in high school, I could just remember, if I ever go back to that, I don't know if they shut that down, but it was a staircase that in Chicago Military Academy, in the gym, if you ever go to that school, if you go up them stairs, it's like a secret, like component staircase where in order to get to that area, you have to come up to a certain scale and you can hear everything and see everything. So we start getting it in, like me and her, we start getting it in or whatever the case may be. And I said, I can't do this. I'm a Christian. This is sinful. I was so into the Bible that, my pastor, Bishop Curry, my uncle, he made it seem like you're going to hell if you do this. So I didn't want to go to hell. But it just felt so good. And the way I was kissing, the way she was moaning, I just would never forget it. And or whatever, and we was together, and then her mom didn't like that I was calling. She didn't want us to be together, and her mom was kind of stupid, like, and I don't know, like she didn't like us together. She didn't like us together because she said she didn't want her baby to get pregnant. I'm like, she's not gonna get pregnant, like in so many words, but she told us to stop talking. I think she called my grandmother. My grandmother said we on our way to hell, and it was just a lot. So long story short, we just stopped talking about each other, but we still kept being cool. We kept being cool, whatever. And then we fell out. I don't want to share this part of the story, but we fell out because I didn't have a haircut. And she was like, "Babe, you need a haircut." And I said, "B, what you say?" And she said, "Why did you call me a B?" I was like, "Oh man, I'm like, so sorry." I'm like, I was like, I was so sorry. Because she said, "Oh, babe, you need a haircut." I'm like, "B, what you say?" And I don't know what made me say that. I can't tell you what made me call her a B word, but she cried. I hurt her feelings. I cried. She didn't want, she said, "Don't follow me home," or whatever the case may be. Like, I really tried to apologize. And eventually, I think I bought her some Burger King, or because at Chicago Military Academy, McDonald's was like the spot. So we went to McDonald's, and I think I bought her like a burger or something, and then we were like back friends or whatever. We were back in the good graces. We were back cool. So I can just go on and on and on. Of course. But I remember that was a problem inside Wiley's job. Don't cover. So I remember that. I remember that. And we made up. I remember us making up because I never wanted to make her feel bad. Like I cried, like she cried. And that was like the first time I got emotional in front of a female. Because she was crying, then I cried. And I was so young and dumb. And so, yes, baby, we going to get to these other topics. But that special education thing just came to me. And I didn't know that growing up. That's what I heard. Your mama been called a B, or this call it MF. My mama would cuss us out. Like, that you learn that behavior somewhere. And it took me a while. Like I used to cuss, not that much, but it would just come out stupidly. It was I didn't even know it was in me, but then it was in me. So, but I was, I remember that. And I remember in school that we had to dance. I think what do they call that? Homecoming dance. And my grandmother, I would have to sneak to the homecoming dance. Say, I'm gonna go with my mom. I'm gonna go with my mama. And my mama was cool, let me go to homecoming. But my grandmother, baby, on Friday night, that's service, terrorist service, calling on Jesus. So I knew my grandmother would say no, but I say, Grandma, I'm about to go to my mama house. I haven't seen my mama in a long time. I miss my mommy. So I called my mama house, but then I'd be like, okay, ma, I'm going over, because she lived down the street from my grandma's. I'm like, I'm about to go get on this train, go up to the Green Line, take the 630 Ashland to 35th and go to go to homecoming. Then we were dancing or whatever. So I just remember that. I remember the thing I just remember it. Yeah. I remember they said yes, but yeah, I just remember it was just so much fun being in school. Like it was fun. Like I said, my best days was my junior and senior year. That was my best days, and one of my proudest moments in school, I will never forget it. That I got an award. I was honored with many other students for like debate from different schools, and because I was like one of the top speaker awards I was getting in the debate. We went to this dinner. My mother came. We took pictures. I don't know if my mom got a copy of those pictures, but I just remember that. And the principal, my mom, they stood up and started clapping. It was such an honor. It was such an honor of that. I just would never forget that. Yeah, I will never forget it. I will never forget it. I will never forget that moment. I was just never forget it. It felt good. It felt good to be recognized. So school was good. And I just remember high school. I love it. I love it. I just never forget. They said when you go to high school, you ain't gonna remember nobody name. You gonna forget about these people. We said, what? Shit out. Oh, but now in my 30s, now, yes, half these people I don't remember their name. Some of the people I still follow on Facebook. Shout out to Brittany Cornell. I forgot her. Shout out to these people. She's married now, and I tried to date her. Okay, give me a sec. All right. So Brittany, well, I tried to date her. She would answer me, but it was back into Baz. I'm gonna go back to Baz, and I'm done. I'm gonna go to other topics. It was this was Jamie cousin Samantha. She was so attractive. She had a crush on me. I had a crush on her, whatever the case may be, and I just loved her. I just loved her. All right, it was just good. I just really really loved. I thought it was love, but it was lust. But I just remember it, man. I just remember school, and then I went to Fernwood Elementary School. I remember some time there in Fernwood Elementary School. I just remember that coming up. But I've always been a person like shy, more so like an introvert, but I was always in special ed. I could just remember the papers of special ed, back to the special ed piece about, Wiley liked computers, Wiley liked to read. Like, I just remember that, and it was some good moments. I remember being in those classes with 4 people, and I would see 8th graders graduate. I'm like, I can't wait to graduate. And then look at me now, I'm 30-something years old. But God is truly good. I just remember those moments. It was a blessing. I love it. I don't take it, regret it. It helped me who I am today. Thank you, Sukihana, for triggering that memory for me. Because I can go on and on and on. But thank you for triggering that memory for me, honey. That was like a little history of me in school or whatever the case may be. But I was in the choir. Shout out to Mr. Wright, our choir director. I was in choir, debate. Those were the 2 things that I was very active in school. Debate and choir. And I love my was that political science? It wasn't political science. It was a history. I got to go back to my transcripts. But I remember a white guy, because I remember after each election, we would talk about politics. I loved it because at that time, it was no such thing as CRT and get history. It was really good. Like, we were allowed to talk and have debates in school about President Obama. And I believe at that time, I don't think I wanted President Obama in office. I think I was trolling. I think I will always take the other side, and I think I said we need John McCain. We don't need Obama. I believe I did take McCain's side in school. Yes, I did, because he won, and I couldn't vote for Obama. So I took McCain's side. I said, I don't think this country is ready for President Obama. We need John McCain. He don't have no experience. And I just remember us debating in school. And then they would say, you always got to take the other side. You don't believe in that. You take other people's side. I just remember that. I love school. I remember those debates. I remember those conversations. I used to always like to argue. I would just pick an argument. Shout out to Felicia and Alicia Pack. I remember those sisters. I don't know if y'all can find them on Facebook. Tell them I said, hey. But I think it was Alicia or Felicia, one of the Pack sisters. They was twins. They slapped me in high school. One of them slapped me in the lunchroom. Wow. I don't know if I said something against her. I don't know what I did, but she slapped me in she slapped me in that lunchroom. Wow. I remember that slap. I remember it. I don't know if I touched her on her butt. Like I don't think I did. No, I didn't do that. I think she just wanted to slap. I just said something smart about her because it was my mouth. I think I said something smart about her. I said something, and she slapped me because I was making some jokes, and I think it was time for me to roast her about her hair. Somebody dragged her about something, and she slapped me. Yes, she did. She slapped me. She slapped me. I had about, and I said, woo. And I was so ashamed. I was embarrassed. But that was back in Chicago Military Academy. I love it. Shout out to Brownsville. Shout out to the Military Academy at Brownsville. Love y'all dearly. 09. We were the best year. We was the best year. Because we was the last one digit. Like everybody was like 06, 05, 04. I think we were the last one digit. So 09 was good. Like 09 was great. All right. Yeah. 09. Yeah, 09 was good. And my last piece about it was prom. Because we here, okay, and I'm gonna go to the other topics, y'all. Bear with me. And I didn't have a prom date. Nobody wanted to take me to prom. And so I went to church, and it was three. Sister Ashley had three daughters. I mean, good looking daughters. Rashonda, Michelle, her two daughters, and Monica. Beautiful daughters. And I had a crush on Michelle. But Sharma was getting all the girls. I had a crush on Michelle. She was red bone. She talked tall. That was like my crush. I had a crush on her. But we never could get together. But so Rashonda, I had started developing a crush about her. So I asked her to my prom, and she said yes. And my mom, we got like it wasn't a limousine, so it was like a little town car, and had a little long jacket suit, went to prom, and they were shocked, like, this is his date? Well, congratulations. Like, I was happy because I had a bad day. That she was everything. I love Rashonda. And I remember like going to prom, and I remember dancing with her, and I remember us going to IHOP after prom because we always had to go to IHOP. And that was like the thing. But I wasn't that devious. I was a church kid. In the back of my head, did I want to smash on prom? Yeah, but we couldn't do that. I was a church kid. But went to that. We dropped off at home. It was just amazing. I love her. Yeah, those are memories. Yeah, those are memories. Those are some memories. 09 all day. 09 all day. And I just cannot wait to do like I went to Olive Garden after prom. Yeah, we went to IHOP. We went to IHOP in 24 hours, and it was fun. I would never forget it. I paid for the food, whatever. Well, my mom paid for it. She gave me money. It was just a good feeling. I will never forget the family coming to see us for prom. My grandmother at the time, she was able to walk and everything. She was just very active. It was just a good thing, man. It was a good thing. And just seeing this book, it just bring back so. And my sister hate when I pull this book out. She said, "You don't know that, no people." It just like seeing this book. It just, it's just something, man. Seeing this book, it's just this is something. Mm. And it's like always now that I have some like, because I don't have too much stuff like back when I was a kid. But when I go back to like my goals here, like my goal is to be a lawyer or a police officer or a teacher. My dreams are to be rich and famous and have a wife and a big family. I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Oh, I got her name here. Her name, because they used to call her Miss Doodlestick, but they dropped that. Her name was Seville Davis. She was the co-captain of the Bass cheerleader team. Ah! This is her whole name in here. Wow. Oh my God. And Kamisha. Oh, they was good look. They was some. And shout out to Miss Weathers. She passed, you know. Uh they said Wiley didn't know her. Where is Wiley friend? So I didn't have a lot of friends, but like Jamie, he was considered a friend. Rashad, he was a friend that I met in Bass. I didn't have like a lot of friends. I was mostly like growing up in church, like Jerry, Vincent, Sherman. Before he touched and violated my sister, he's a predator. Like Jerry, Sherman, Vincent. Who else was in there? Brittany. She didn't like my guts. She couldn't stand me. She said I was ugly. I ain't gonna forget. And may she rest in peace. Her mama did pass away, so rest in peace, Sister Robinson. I mean, may Sister Robinson rest in peace. May God bless her soul. But Brittany didn't like, but she was good looking. I just, it was mostly like the church kids. It was mostly like growing up with them because we spent most time with each other, like Tuesday, Wednesday, third, Friday, every second Sunday, all day Sunday. So it was them. Who else growing up? Sir Steven and Willie, you know, Sir Steven, he screwed my ex-girlfriend, got her pregnant when he was 14 and everything. You know, Patrice, that's my first one I made love to. I broke my virginity with Patrice Everett. I remember her. Now she's a lesbian. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Rashonda Monica, Rayshawn, and Michelle, all of them. Yeah, I could just go on and on and on and on and on. But I love them. Hey y'all. I don't even know, like, cause like, okay, this gonna be like a long video. All right. But I could just, you know, her bringing back slow class, just bringing back childhood memories. But we were very thottish in church. We were kissing, and I had sex with one of the church women. She was a grown woman, and I was grown too. And her name was Patrice. She was like in her 20s. Like, so I was like 18, 19. And everybody was like having sex. Like it was just like we was just doing it. Like like the teenagers, like we was dating each other. Like we was doing. I'm surprised none of us married. Like nobody married each other from that group. Nobody. But everybody was. And Sherman was he was very popular. He was good looking, dude. He was dating everybody. And I remember this one. This was Mother Ship's granddaughter. I remember we was at church Sunday, no Saturday or yeah Saturday. It was like a Saturday because we had to sell like barbecue ribs and stuff like that. And my uncle, I didn't know my uncle was like watching me and her because we was about to get it in because like she was opening up her legs or whatever, like Mothership's granddaughter, right? And she was around. We were the same age, and I was getting turned on, and I don't know if she had on. I think she showed me. Yeah, she did show it. And I was ready. I didn't know what I was gonna do to it, but I was ready. And my uncle, he came outside. He said, "Marquise Ken in here," and blah blah blah. He said, "Don't do that. You gotta. That's against God. You gotta be saved." And blah blah blah. I'm like, listen. I'm like, yeah, Pastor. I wasn't gonna do that, but my hormones. And I was jumping, you know. But we used to do a lot of stuff, kiss and make out, and do all type of stuff. Like it was like we was devilish. Like we really was. Like growing up in church, like we were getting it in. Like, and I didn't start. I was late because then nobody wanted to smash me. So I didn't break my virginity till I was grown. The rest of them, they did it before they was grown. Baby, they was having orgies and all type of stuff. Like I remember one time Jerry came, he said, man, they had sex and the condom like ripped and like sperm like was going. I just remember them talking and they were breaking yeah, they were breaking that like way before me. Like they were breaking that way before me. I was a late bloomer, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, but I started picking up that swag and me and Patrice started doing or whatever, and it felt good. I see why they did it. I didn't want to stop, you know what I'm saying? But God had plans for my life because it's like every time I'm about to get a female pregnant, it's like I'm going to the military, I'm moving. It's like even in this situation, I don't know if God don't want me to do this without being married. I don't know. But it's like God have all like intervene and or some type of force intervene when it comes to stuff like that. I saw my church was working at the talent show. I couldn't believe it. So I just remember because like the last time I had sex with a female was like back in February, and it's done. Like it was a one night stand, and I don't know if she's pregnant or not because we kind of like cease communication or whatever the case may be. But I hope not because I don't want that because that would be like, damn, I did not break the curse of having these one night stands. I'm a product of a one night stand. So I just hope. You know, God doesn't want you to get nobody pregnant beforehand. Yes, and so I'm trying to force that to happen. But thank God, she's not. Let me make sure. Let me call her. Make sure she's good. I'm gonna call out the show. I hope she's not. But it will not surprise me. I just hope she's not. Because that would put a monkey wrench in my plans. But let's move on to the other topic here. Y'all got in my personal business. Okay. They said my husband is the son of a pastor, and my husband is the son of a pastor, and he is terrible. 12-year-old little Wiley twins out there. No, wait a minute, don't tell her that. I don't have no kids. I don't, because I don't. Don't put that out there in the universe. We love video. Don't put that out because they tried it. They tried it with Patrice when she had those twins, and they said those were mine. But I knew that second time when we had, because the first time it was none came out, and so and I knew I was kind of shocked. I'm like, no. And then she called and she said, no, it's not yours. It's Sir Stephen's. And it looked just like their family. It ain't mine. But they wanted to. make it, and then it was his kids. And the sad part of the story, he was 15 years old. He was a minor, and he went to Chicago Military School because he wanted to follow into my footsteps, going to that school. He said, while I'm going to, I said, you going to Chicago Military Academy? He in there, and he didn't graduate, and he got her pregnant with twins. And Donetta wanted to press charges. And I keep saying these names. And I got to stop saying these names because this show is popular. Y'all be reaching out to these people because somebody called me and said, Wiley, why you saying that on your show? That's private business. I keep forgetting that I ain't talking to myself with 3 people because I don't know how to stop saying people's real name. I don't know how to do it. I don't do nicknames because when I went to church, baby, we put an address on it. When my uncle sometimes he won't put a name on it, but we know who he talking about. And then sometimes when he on a gossip in the car, he gonna say the person name. So I just developed that. I don't know how not to say the person name. And sometimes I try to use it and it come out. I didn't know that I was gonna have a show with thousands of people watching me. I didn't know. And sometimes I forget that I'm talking to, I ain't talking to myself, but I just be talking. But I'll be offering people business. I'm sorry. But I never thought that I was going to do the show. And then people keep saying a book. Baby, this is just this is just this is just the surface stuff. This ain't like the meat. I can go even deeper into a lot of stuff. And so, and they said when you get that cease and desist, you might want to say no names. I just like that. And the Sherman piece, I think he got it the worst because I don't think Sherman ever knew. He knew that I like to do media because we done a YouTube video together. He told me to delete it because one of the church people saw our video. He said delete it, so I deleted it. And he got it the worst because y'all go his Facebook DMs. Y'all go to his Facebook all the time. He changed his name from Sherman Blake Marlowe to S.O. Blake Marlowe. And he private his entire Facebook page. Like, if you ain't his friend, you ain't getting on there to get the tea. Because and my sister told me, she said, hey, I think when you came with an allegation, it kind of like destroyed their marriage. But that's her theory, but their marriage was already destroyed. I mean, she was dating a down low predator, and thank God you free. But yeah, he got it the worst. I think Sherman got it the worst. Yeah, I think he got it the worst of the wrath of Wiley. And the reason why he got it the worst because he actually violated somebody close to Wiley. He violated my sister, my baby sister. So I will always talk about him every chance I get, even though he's in law enforcement, he's a pedo and he haven't apologized. You know what I'm saying? That ain't right. You can't violate somebody and think it's okay. And he didn't just violate my sister, he violated Jerry's sister, Kyer Booth, as well when she was a little girl. And I remember that. And so, hey, I have to just share it. And many people got mad at me sharing it, but I'm gonna keep sharing it. All right. And he avoid coming to visit us or talk to us because he know he wrong. You can't do that. You didn't think like we were gonna get older and become powerful media folks. You just can't go around doing that. That's sick. That's crazy. And when my sister told me about it many years ago, it drove me. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, I ain't know that at all, man. I ain't know that he did that to you, sis. I was shocked. I really was. Okay, let's move on. Now we talked about that. Now, who else are we going to talk about? He tried to erase, yes, but you can't. I mean, I still remember. All right, we talked about that. Let's get into MC Shakie. So my producer sent me this story. Y'all know who MC Shakie is. He is an entertainer. He's in prison for fraud, went to prison before for fraud, got out, and he defrauded the work release program bank fraud. And so now he is on social media asking for y'all help. He said, please call Angela the warrant. And he said, call Marcia Jackson, the regional director. He also said, let them know you are aware of what's going on and you want him moved immediately. When calling, include my name, Rodney Russell, my inmate number 31934 Day 3. This all comes from Shakie refusing a sexual relationship with his case manager, Charles Jones. And this is clearly retaliation for Shakie reporting this and other unfair treatment. Don't stop calling the numbers mentioned above. Day 5. Bearmont Camp Administrator Brown is purposely holding up Shakie's transfer paperwork to punish Shakie for reporting the inhumane treatment. Please keep calling. Thank you, SIP Nation. This person was a popular YouTuber, popular bingo person, wrote books, went to prison, etc. Did all of these things. And now he acted, first of all, he said they ain't had no heat, water, and all of this. And this is sad. This is really sad to see him going through this, but he shouldn't be in prison. He was so addicted. This man was making bank from bingo. He was making bank from YouTube. He was getting clicks and views. He of course he's a liar because he went to my show and not Storm Monroe's show. He's supposed to go on my show, but then Storm found out he was coming over here, and I announced it, and then Storm got in his ear and got him over there, and now he in prison, right? For fraud. And so now he's asking for sympathy. Now he's asking for people to get him out, to get him on transfer, and all of this. But bruh, this is your second lengthy sentence in prison for you frauding the people. Like, I understand the first time, okay, you ain't learned your lesson, did the same thing, ended right back into the system. And then now you want, oh, they ain't feeding me, oh, they ain't doing this, oh, now you want us as your followers to call on your behalf. Now, we did call, and they did say they are transferring him, but they told me on the phone that it is a process to transfer him. That is a process. So they are going to transfer him to another facility, but it's a process. It could take a couple of weeks for a full transfer, all right? To make sure that there's room at the other facility to transfer him. So again, he did all of this rule riding. He want to rush it. We called, and I didn't even have to call. Only reason why I called is because only reason why I called is because I have a good heart. And I called Storm, and Storm hung up the phone. I said, Storm, are you going to call for MC Shakie? He went on your show. He hung up the phone. He did say he's not going to do that. It's bad for his brand. And then he hung up. But here we are, the brother that you did not come on the show. The brother that you step aside and stepped on is talking about you right now. It's talking about you right now. The brother that you didn't come on the show, we still got your name ringing and helping you out. But you went to Storm. He ain't talking about it. He's somewhere talking to witches. But yet we talking about, he gonna talk about you after this episode because we called him out. And this person is called MC Shakie. Type it in. He went to prison. He did prison stories. This brother was, he doxed Kandi. He doxed so many celebrities. He doxed that lady Kiki Wyatt about PPP loan. He would dox these celebrities. And I personally believe that a celebrity tricked on him to the feds because he would dox. Now, why are you doing all that doxing when you committing all that fraud? He would dox people, post a private credit report. He would find arrest records. He doxed the brat. Now he's somebody. BB Judy. He doxed all these people. Now you in prison. Now you need our help. It did come on the Wiley show when you had all that clout. Didn't do that. Didn't come on the Wiley show when you was popular. Now you in prison. Being somebody beep. And now you want us to call the number and get you a transfer. Super said, you doxed all these people. Now you want us to help you. Now you want our help. Got my producer sending me this story. You did all this. You didn't have to be in prison. You did it because of greed. Because of greed. Greed will get you every time. And so now we are bringing this story to you because I know a lot of my people forgot about MC Shakie. They did. They forgot about him. And now he's in prison. And many people said he should have stayed out of jail. He should have stayed out of jail. Mm. And I want to read what he did. A parish Assumption parish man admitted to stealing more than $213,000 from a bank account of a company that have been employing him through a work reentry program for people with past criminal convictions. Federal prosecutor said Rodney Russell, aka MC Shakie, the one you see in the back on the screen here, 40 of Belly Rose, faces up to 30 years in federal prison and up to $1 million fine after pleading guilty to one count of bank fraud before bank fraud before the U.S. District Judge Greg New Orleans on Tuesday. The company, which prosecutors did not name but is based in New Orleans, provided MC Shakie a salary, incentive payments for remaining employed, and rental assistance. Prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Orleans said MC Shakie has been previously convicted in 2013 in a counterfeit check scheme, sentenced to 5 years in federal prison, and later released on supervised probation with requirements to pay $60,000 in restitution. Under the latest plea, MC Shakie admitted to using a Chase Bank web portal and a mobile banking application to move money from the company's bank account to pay off debts on a Chase Bank card owned by MC Shakie company, MC Associates Management. MC used his employer's Chase account to pay off MC associate Chase bank card 18 times between April and June of 2018, totaling $213,000, $372.05, according to the factual basis filed with his plea. The card has been used for personal expenses, including those made at Amazon, Costco, and Sam's Club. MC Shakie didn't have the authority to move the money from the operative account. Federal prosecutor added the work re-entry program operator discovered the illegal payments in 2019. MC and associate, which MC Shakie did not tell his work re-entry operator he owned, were also leasing MC Shakie his home and receiving the rental payments from the work operator, the police said. So he was having a place that he owned and he was getting payments from the work release program. This crap, you can't make it up. About a year after the illegal payments ended, the federal prosecutor garnished rage at a barbecue restaurant because he had paid less than 1,000 other restaurants owed an earlier counterfeit check case filing show. But a judge later removed the garnishment in November 2019 after the prosecutor told the court MC Shakie was unemployed. In a latest conviction, MC Shakie had earlier waived indictment and have been charged by prosecutor with a bill of information early in January, usually a signal in the federal system that a defendant is cooperating with prosecutors. Portions of MC Shakie's plea and statements he gave to prosecutor were filed under seal Tuesday. Under his plea deal with prosecutor, MC Shakie must also surrender all illegal obtained gains. His sentence is set for June 14th. And he was sentenced last year. He's in prison now. So it's just sad. That's the reason he should known better. A true scammer wouldn't have been so foolish. Like, I couldn't believe it. You scamming the work release program? They say he was spending on people. He could have been spending on people. Do y'all know his ex-boyfriend? I want to interview his ex-boyfriend. Do y'all have his ex-boyfriend? I want to interview his ex-boyfriend. So I don't even know how long because it's under sealed. It's under sealed. How old is it? Where's his boyfriend? I want to talk to him. But he did that. All right. He did it. Under seal. I want to talk to his boyfriend. Can y'all send me the information, please? Thank you so very much. Send it to my email, wileyshow@gmail.com. Send it to me. Send it to me. Yeah, send it to me. And I would love to see it. Send it to me. Okay. Also, NeNe Leakes. Yo, NeNe Leakes and Kandi beef go deep. Yo, it goes so deep. And I want to be crystal clear on here. I love me some NeNe Leakes. I love me some Kandi. But Kandi had the final laugh. She said, I may be corny or this, but I still got my peach. Yikes. Regardless of what it is, Kandi still got her peach. NeNe have to understand, number one, NeNe was mistreated on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. There is a system that mistreat Black women. And I feel that it's a system that needs to be called out. And because NeNe is Black and loud, and she wasn't paid fairly, it was it was a hostile work environment. I do believe that about NeNe. And these corporations have a tendency of, using Black talent and then discarding them like a piece of meat. And NeNe stood up, and of course, at the end, she lost her job. But that does not make her less than a talented human being. I feel like Kandi understand that she's boring. Kandi understand that she's not that talented. Kandi understands that she's talented musically, but as a reality star, not so much. And Kandi is too controlling. Kandi don't want to go back and forth and I'm sorry, Kandi don't want to go back and forth with Portia. I mean, she apologized to Portia, they made up, but she don't want to go back and forth with Phaedra. So we will see how this is going to play out in the future. But at the end of the day, the public want NeNe back on the top. The public want NeNe back on Real House of Atlanta. When you think of Real House of Atlanta, you think of NeNe Leakes. There's no shade. NeNe is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is so entertaining. She is so great. But NeNe have to understand that, sometimes you have to compromise at the end of the day. You have to compromise. But she burnt the bridge, and we shall see. Okay. And she did quit the show before. Thank you for that. She did. So we will see how it's going to play out with NeNe and the future of the show. But at the end of the day, we would love to see it. Shout out to Carlos King for interviewing the Queen. You did that with your beautiful self. I got me an African. Child, you gays, y'all do too much. I got me an African. Okay, girl. Girl, stop it. Okay? Stop it. Now, we talked about this last night about this story, and many people were saying, Wiley, you crazy. I said the reason why Meech probably left Summer Walker or cheated on her because she probably didn't cook or she probably wasn't clean. She probably wasn't submissive. And a lot of times women, they have multiple baby daddies or whatever, but then they want to settle down. Let him live his life. And I don't think that Meech wanted to be a baby daddy. I don't think he wanted to be out here trying to take care of nobody's kids. It's not his. And I think he moved on with his life. He said, hell no, I don't want to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep living my life. I'm going to keep being successful. But I'm just not going to try to play daddy. I still got things to do. But when he came out there and say, I can't help my cousin deliver groceries, everybody started making fun of him delivering groceries. It was like a trend that's going around social media. Everybody was talking about it on social media. It's like a whole meme going around. Everybody was just dogging him out. But at the end of the day, sisters, stop it. Like, what do you expect? Summer Walker can't keep no man. When are we going to start blaming women for not keeping a man? We got to start blaming these women because these women can't keep a man to save their life. Okay? They can't keep a man to save the life. And Summer Walker, maybe she needs to start taking a shower. Maybe she needs to start, you know what I'm saying, put on some good old deodorant, shaving her armpits. But she can't keep no man to save her life. And we got to get that in order. She cannot keep a man. Meech is very young and hasn't finished on the round yet. Summer needs to take a break from men and focus on her kids because every man she did is done for to do it. Okay? Let's be clear. Summer is a baby mama to multiple children. I mean, no, she's a baby mama. I think both her children, she got two children with two different men. She spoil you goods. And she's picking the worst of the worst. And she's attracted to thugs. She's attracted to these kind of bad boy image. But it ain't working. You need to get you a nerd. It ain't working for you. It ain't working for you. You getting these type of guys. She got 3 baby Child, she needs to sit down. You are rotten goods. You get that, and then you want the type of guys. What do you expect? 3 kids with 2 different men. Like, get out of here. So you up here doing this, it ain't working for you. You know it. You know Meech ain't the type. Anytime a man don't like to bathe, he ain't gonna be faithful to you. He ain't even faithful to no bath water. And I'm just being real. He ain't faithful to you. He's not. He committing crime. He bought at the airport. He was arrested. He got a charge for selling, trying to buy back stolen jewelry, stealing jewelry, not paying for it. He is a criminal, and that's what you're attracted to. So you as a shameful woman. I'm not throwing women away because you got no kids. But what I'm saying is you made that decision. You threw your own self away, opened up your legs with 2 different baby daddies. You made those mistakes. And then you keep making the bad mistakes. We're gonna hold women accountable for the bad choices that they make. When are we gonna hold them accountable? You sat there, have all these baby daddies, then you picked another weird guy, a thug. He embarrassed you. When are you gonna have some type of honor about yourself as a woman? Let's be real here. Like, let's stop that. You made these decisions. You lay down the worst other one. None of your baby daddies are good. You liking men that don't like you, like the average black woman that's in the hood. And then they get on, and when you see Kendra G, one day I'm gonna have to watch Kendra G's show. Like, these women, they get on that show. Most of them are single black women with kids in the back. I want me a man that make $300,000, got a 12 inches tall with no kids and no baby mama. Honey, you got drama in your house while you on there trying to describe what kind of man you want. The kids in the back, you can't hardly understand the dialogue. Your priorities out of order. You first of all got to be a good mother, but you trying to find love. That ain't gonna work. The man gonna run away. Yeah, you gonna get a man, but it ain't gonna be that good man that you want. It ain't too many women with multiple baby daddies got a good man right now. It ain't too, or get with all this money, a high value with bank money in the bank, good credit, no baby mama drama. Ain't too many of them men exist, and they black. Let's be clear. And most of you women, some of y'all seen men that live raggedy lives. Y'all try to annoy it. Most time y'all are dating guys in the same hood as you, in the same neighborhood. Come on now. Y'all ain't dating somebody that you found him in Africa or Alabama. You know who he about. What you try to do is you think you can change him because he never had your punani. You thought he was going to treat you different, and you got up for a rude awakening. Most women know the type of man they try to avoid it because you say, hey, whatever, he ain't gonna treat me that way. You know what I mean? You don't want the nerds. You don't want this. You don't want the nerd guy, the guy that brings you fire. You want these type of guys like Meech. Let's be clear here. Y'all say y'all want people to cater to you, but y'all attracted to men that dog y'all out. So stop it. You want the guy that looks so good on the outside, but on the inside, they raggedy as ever. You got to tweak your standards a little bit, honey, because it ain't working for you. And when Kendra G came out and when she spoke about how she spoke about it, it was good. Like, she told the truth. And I told Kendra in a DM, I was like, they going to wind up calling you a pick-me. The female Kevin Samuels. Because whenever you speak truth to women, they ain't going to receive that. And most of the women that ain't going to receive that are the bitter women with multiple baby daddies. They ain't married. They ain't submissive. Don't have a successful relationship. Only women that will agree, that got a good man, that's successful, that's doing good. They don't have all these children with different men. But the women that got the different men, they're going to say, oh, no, it's women. It is what it is, brothers and sisters. But brothers got to do a better job, doing for our women. And not having all and dogging them out. But some men, that's who they are. They don't know how to be a good man. And some of them know how to stop because they can always get punani. It is what it is. Okay? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat here. Y'all comment below here. But I'm not shocked that he cheated on her. Look at the woman that he had. That woman was thick. Had a nice apartment. Whatever apartment, but it was a nice apartment. Went up in there. But, and you got a man that's raggedy on the inside. And it is some terrible brothers out there that don't like to work. I tell brothers, if you don't like to work, you don't need to be dating. What? You shouldn't be dating if you ain't got no job. Where you gonna take her? You ain't got no car. You ain't got no bus fare. You ain't got no cell phone. Is it everybody else's name but yours? If you don't got a lease or a mortgage, you shouldn't be dating. If you don't have, you shouldn't be dating. If you a grown man and don't got your own place, you should not be dating. You should not, and women shouldn't date no man. Like if he ain't got his own place, you mean to tell me you got to go in his mama garage? You got to screw in the living room or wait till mama go to sleep, big mama go to sleep for y'all to get it in? You ain't got your own place and he ain't got his own place. Y'all shouldn't be dating. Y'all need to be at somebody's job, getting a job and getting a place. I'm just being real with you on that. You should not be dating and you ain't got a job in your own business or your own place. Your priorities is messed up. Your priorities messed up, brothers and sisters. Your priorities is messed up. And I'm going to tell it to you. Your priorities messed up if you dating and ain't got no job. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't even waste that woman's time. And here you are, you a woman, you in school, you doing right, and you get a dude that ain't got nothing going for himself and bring you down to a piece of bread. You got to have your own place. And it was a female friend that we was connected with. She never had nobody take her on a date. She never had nobody send her Uber Black. She never had any of these things. But I say your standards is low, and you keep getting the bad guys. You got a bad baby daddy, and you talk about him so much, but then now you got another dude that gonna probably pump another baby in you. And then when you finally get away with it, then you gonna want to settle down. It's too late. Ain't nobody gonna want to date you. Ain't nobody gonna want to be with you. But another trifling man that's raggedy on the inside. And you want all of this stuff. You say, hey, you want to be married, but you're not marriage material. You got to be marriage material here, ladies and gentlemen. And so when I look at this situation with Summer Walker, I'm not shocked because we knew the man was going to cheat. We knew he was going to cheat. We are not shocked at all. We knew this man was going to cheat. We ain't shocked. Like Blueface Kashan is toxic. But if she love it, if she like it, I love it. That's all they got off his page. You ain't got all that. You ain't got your own place. I say the same thing. Most people, all this, they ain't got their own place. They ain't got nothing. You ain't even got your own place and you in your 30s. But why can't the man have 8 kids and not be judged like that? I don't understand. Women say they don't want men with kids, but then they have kids. I don't get that. That's stupid to me. I think you would want a guy with kids because he didn't know how to operate. Anyway, I can go on and on and on, child, but I don't want a woman with kids. Honestly, I don't because I don't have any kids. Knock on wood. No, I don't have no kids. Seriously, I don't have any kids. Because kids is a lot. Like, because Kendra said something. Like, I don't like it. Like, even when I go home with my mom, I'm like, ugh. Like, it'd be like some days I be want to go to sleep. Then my nieces want to play. And I'll be like, oh, gosh, go to bed. And I be trying to show that they don't want to listen. It's just like, ugh. Then I want to go live. Then they want to be loud. Then you bring some snack. Then they want to eat the snack. Then you bring food. Then they want to eat food. Like that's like an adjustment because when I come here, it's peace and quiet. Okay, it's peace and quiet. But when I go there, you know, it's a lot of noise, and it's just 2 of them. And baby, it's just like they're like 15 kids in the house. And don't let my nephew come. Oh my God. He don't even want to sleep. That little boy said, I don't sleep. He was watching TV show, he didn't go to sleep like 2, 3 something in the morning. And I don't have kids. I don't want to be bothered with other people's kids. I love my quiet. I love my quiet. I love my quiet. Just to think of it, give me a headache right now. I love me some quiet right now. Because just the thought of it is be going through. Okay. Some say I don't have, yeah, I love my peace and quiet. That's how I come in and get peace. All right. Yeah. So we have to say that. Now I'm gonna go to my last topic here. Go to my last topic here. Lizzo. Now I got more updated information about the Lizzo situation. So 2 Dancer is suing her because they went to Amsterdam. They went to some nude with a nude thing, and she forced the person to touch a nude man. The woman said no. She didn't want to touch the dancer. They also were make fun of, and they were taunted to do different things they did not want to do. It was a hostile work environment. They said one lady was a religious person, tried to force her religion on everybody. It was just really, really bad. But they were fired, and now they're singing and talking. So this to me is not good. Like if they would have left before they were fired, then I will probably be more understanding of that. If they would have just quit and said, hey, we're going to fight, go to court. But it seemed to me that they're just forcing this. I need to see more evidence of this. I need to hear her side. But I told somebody, I said it's so dangerous that people can love you today and then hate you later on today. They are canceling this woman off an allegation. This woman haven't even been found liable. She haven't even filed a settlement. They just filed a lawsuit and the media just running with it. And they already losing. Beyonce separated from Lizzo, fired her, not giving her no more shout outs. Off an allegation. That is sad. Nobody is safe. Not even a big fat woman is safe. Nobody is safe. You mean to tell me somebody, soon as you get popular and you get an allegation, it can destroy your career, whether it's true or not? I thought, if it's true, okay. But you mean to tell me now you saying all you need is allegation and someone filing a lawsuit and you will automatically believe it? Is that what we're telling people now? Is that what we're telling people now? That all you got to do, so somebody can file a lawsuit against Denzel Washington and say he did X, Y, and Z, and we will automatically cancel Denzel? Like, is that what it take now? Honestly, I thought we should wait till all the facts, wait till it's fully investigated before we come to judge. But not in the court of public opinion, bro. You file a lawsuit, if it's hot enough, oh yeah, she did that. We don't even know all the complaints. I haven't even read the court complaint yet of the allegations, and I'm trying to get a copy of it so I can see what is they're complaining in the court documents. And it's been like that for black. It's been like that, period. I'm just, whoa. Well, I'm kind of glad that a woman is getting canceled because usually women have been weaponizing their womanhood to get canceled, brother. So, hey. Never thought a big obese woman would be canceled. Yikes. If they ain't safe, ain't nobody safe. It's bad. It's bad. And if she did do this, she wrong. But I think this is getting blown out of proportion though. I think it's getting blown out of proportion. Oh, she told you to touch a naked stripper. Y'all were drinking, y'all were having fun. This is a beatable suit, and I think they doing this interviews because they trying to strong arm Lizzo to give them some money, because they can't be no regular dancer. They're obese dancer. It's not too many dancers hiring obese fat women. Ain't too many dancers. Beyonce not doing it. Kelly Rowland not doing it. Lil Kim not doing it. Ain't Coyle Ray not doing it. Corey Bailey not. Ain't too many artists hiring plus size black women to dance on stage. What you're saying, you said the director, Sophie, okay, said that she was disrespected. That's different than being sexually harassed. See, this is the point that I don't like, is that these stupid people is saying stuff to the press. Oh, she made me feel bad. She was mean. Being mean and being a sexual harasser is two different things. See, it's like a hit piece. Like somebody, Lizzo pissed off and powerful, because this don't make sense. You can't, oh, she was mean, but you can't tie that into sexual harassment either. You know what I mean? Like that case of that director, oh, okay, she was mean. Okay. But that ain't the same thing as no sexual harassment. You understand what I'm saying? That ain't no such thing as sexual harassment. We're talking about serious sexual harassment allegations. I ain't talking about her being mean. It's plenty mean folks. But being mean ain't no crime. Like being mean, unless they're going to say you're so mean, it's a worse environment. But I'm also on the sexual harassment allegations. But this is a setup. More people are just the fact she was shaming someone's weight. And yeah, even the shaming someone, I don't believe that. This is a hit piece. I don't believe this. I don't believe this at all. And thank God Lizzo got a crisis team that she ain't stupid going live, that they're strategizing how they're going to respond to this. But this is a hit piece. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I just don't believe it. It just sound weird. It sound forced out of the wind. I hope she counters to it. I don't believe this. Settle for what? This is baseless allegations. This is stupid. You were at a club and they said touch a woman. Even when I hear stuff about Trey Songz, I didn't believe that about Trey Songz either. I stood with Trey Songz. I didn't believe it. And then to find out that the lawyer of Trey Songz that was suing Trey, she getting caught up with allegation that she was telling women to lie on Trey Songz. So, and that's the same woman interview with Tasha K. Anytime somebody too quick to interview with a liar, they're a liar. All right? I don't believe it. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. If y'all want to call in and give y'all thoughts, y'all can. Plus, I girls do love to body shame other women. I witnessed it and had a friend like that. But that I don't believe that. I just don't believe that at all. Like, I don't believe that she harassed him and made it some touch a stripper or something like that. To me, come on now, bro. And you stayed there. You didn't have to go. And then you got fired, and then now you're saying all this stuff. Girl, bye. This is a hit piece. All right. The number is 972-674-9462. This is a hit piece, baby. If maybe she wanted to buy Burger King and KFC. I don't know. Maybe she wanted to buy Burger King or KFC. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show.
Oh, okay. Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Hey, so, I sort of understand where you're coming from regarding the headpiece. Let me get off my headphones. There's a lot of echo. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you better now because it sounds so far away. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So regarding the headpiece, but there is such thing as people who work for a form of hierarchy, and because they want to keep their job, they're not going to speak out on certain things. You know what I mean? And then once they lose their job, they're like, okay, fine, there's nothing to hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying there is a possibility that these people are telling the truth, and they just, since they don't have a job anymore, they're not going to keep her secret.
I think that this case, and of course they have a white lawyer. I personally believe that we should withhold our judgment until we get more information. Number one, and what if it come out that this is all a lie? Do she get her career back? Do she get her reputation back? I just feel like this is so. To me, this is a very dangerous thing. And I don't know why I'm keep bringing up Denzel Washington. I'm bringing up Denzel Washington because it's so dangerous now that you could just file a lawsuit and get a lawyer and we automatically cancel. That is the standard that we created now, and it's very dangerous. That means President Obama. That means nobody is exempt of being canceled off of an allegation. That's the dangerous part. And then when they find out, okay, it didn't happen. Okay, some people's reputation never recover. It never recover at all. And this whole thing, believe all women, is dangerous because then you group in liars. Brian Banks,
I'm not saying
when he was lied on, when the black woman said she got raped at high school and found out he was innocent. That woman is still walking around free. She should have been in prison right now, her and her mammy. But
you're mentioning instances like you're.
What I'm saying is, why can't we wait until the courts? Because what if they go to court right now and they side with Lizzo that Lizzo didn't do anything wrong? Do she get her reputation back?
Here's the thing. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not saying Lizzo did that. I'm also not trying to discount the people who are speaking out as well.
Those are fat women that lost their job and can't get no new job because they're fat and they got fired. And it's okay. Lose the weight so you can perform on Beyonce stage.
So let me ask you a question. Hypothetically speaking, right? Let's just say that it comes out and everyone and they side with those people. What will you be saying then?
I think that this is a civil case because what they're saying, this is civil. So the further thing that she's gonna do is pay money, right? I mean, hey, she's in the hall.
No, I'm talking about you. Because
I would come out and call Lizzo out. I stood against Kaylin Walker when he raped those women. I didn't do like Milagro Grams when she posted the videotape all on her Discord. I stood against Kaylin Walker, and Kaylin Walker called into the show and he kept saying, I'm innocent. I said, no, you're not innocent. You did it because I saw a videotape because Milagro Grams, she put on her Discord, and he was violating the victim there. He's violating his victim, and he did it. And he was found. He was guilty of those charges.
You're not. Listen, I'm not. I'm a fan of yours. Okay, but you have an open platform that people gravitate to because you have an excellent point of view on a lot of things. And all I'm saying is when you disagree with something and it's still up in the air, you go hard on the left, and then you say things that you can't even take back.
It's a show. So do those big black, those obese women saying things that they can't take back. So is those people that want to cancel Lizzo. I'm just giving the same noise. I'm just not agreeing with the narrative that Lizzo is this sexual harassment obese women that want other obese people not to be too much obese. That to me don't make any sense to me at all. I think this is a hit piece to take her down. And I'm not agreeing. I'm not gonna throw my sister away off of these disgruntled former employees that probably got caught eating too much chicken out of the chicken box. I am not about to throw her away off an allegation. I need to see evidence and proof that she told that woman, that big black woman, to touch that dancer and egged her on and forced her to do it. I need to see more evidence and for me to sit and agree with that. But honestly, they were working there. It was all fine. But when they lost their job, and I need to know, why did they get fired? What was the reason of their firing? So we don't have all the information. This story just came out 24 hours ago, and they're trying to tie in her being mean as her being of that way. But everybody else got their judgment, so I'm just giving that same energy because now they talking about this woman should be canceled. Honestly, I personally believe that Lizzo is innocent, and I believe I stand with my sister and Tashi otherwise. I'm not going to throw my sister away. Only thing I'm going to tell my sister is lose the weight, of course, because I knew she wasn't a vegan. But other than that, I'm going to stand with my sister and tell her 1,000%. I stand with her.
That's not. I'm not telling you not to stand with her. I'm just telling you to just reserve your judgment. Like, don't pass it so hard because you go hard on the other side.
Yeah, like, but they're going hard on canceling this woman. It was a hashtag said Lizzo over party or something like that. Lizzo is canceled. That was trending on Twitter. So this is so shocking to hear this about Lizzo. She's a very positive person, positive music. I'm a fan of her music. And this is it's very disheartening that this allegation is coming out at a very pressing time. And we all thought Carly Russell was telling the truth when she said she saw a baby on the side of the road, and that was a whole lie. So let's not act like women can't lie. I mean, Carly Russell did it, and hopefully she served about her 30 years in prison. But in this particular case, this is civil, and I hope that the trial, it goes to trial, it be televised, so we can see all of the evidence. Because this is very damaging to us, Lizzo, and but I'm assuming right now her streams are holding steady. I think she's streaming more music for rumors because the song said all the rumors are true. I told them to sign the NDA. I don't care what you say or whatever the case may be in that song Rumors. So now they're trying to tie in her song Rumors and she had to do it because she was bragging about it in an old record. So this is very interesting for me.
All of this just sounds like some internal issues that we are catching a glimpse of, and we think that we know what's going on, and we have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is reserve your judgment. Wait to find out what the deal is instead of like going in an uproar on one direction because we don't know what it is for real.
You don't think she should be canceled?
I'm sorry?
Do you think she should be canceled right now?
No.
Okay. But we both agree on that.
I'm not on the whole cancel train thing. Personally, there's a lot of people that have been canceled that are resurfaced and nobody says shit about them. So it's like that cancel culture shit is nonsense. That's why I'm not wrapped up in that. So just because they said she's canceled doesn't mean she's canceled.
Right.
If she has a great PR manager, she's straight.
Absolutely. But we thank you, sister, for calling in. And we, in honor of Lizzo, I'm going to eat me a chicken wing after this because this is making me hungry.
Okay, bye. Thank you, Wiley.
Okay, thank you. So Aaron, I'm going to eat a banana. I don't think I can say anything about a banana anymore because they posted an old video of her making love or want to see a woman put a banana in her yoni. I didn't know that women could put a banana down there. Really? Don't they give you a yeast infection? Like, don't they give like a yeast infection? Putting a banana down there? Well, I didn't know you could put a banana right. You like that? Eat your poo-poo with a banana? I didn't know that. That's some real type of Ricky. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley. How you doing this evening?
Doing good.
Okay, hold on. Let me cut you off in the back. Okay, about Lizzo. Why are you so convinced she didn't do that stuff?
Well, I have a very successful track record. I mean, I was right about Kaylin Walker. I was right about Tory Lanez. And so my track record, my gut, have never steered me wrong, and it's in my gut. And my gut is telling me that she's. I wasn't right about Tasha. I'm more so talking about this. Anyway, okay. I wasn't right about Tasha K in my gut. Well, she didn't pay back the money though. So she's still fighting that. But honestly, in my gut, I believe Lizzo is honest, is telling the truth.
Okay, okay. She's an entertainer, so she built up like this, like a super character persona or something, and it's just that it's an act. And I believe she did it because she's been bullied so long, probably for her weight. When a victim becomes the bully, I think that's the case of that. And I do think that she a fat freak. and she want to be the fattest one on the tour.
Really?
Hell
You
no,
think
y'all better
so?
not get bigger. No, I'll just play it. That was a joke. No, but I do think that she power tripping because not only is it the dancers, it's the directors of the documentary she was doing. They said she's just like a hard to work with, mean and everything, like a mean girl. I mean, don't nobody want to work with nobody mean. I don't care how much money you have. You still got to have some kind of morale and still some kind of empathy for people. I think she did it. I think she got them girls over there in Germany, took them to that freak show or whatever. I ain't saying freak show in a bad way. Believe me, I'm not. But you took them to the banana show, and I think she did spring it on them. I don't think she told them that, hey, we going to this freaky show, prepare. I think she told them, we going out to party, come on. When they got to where they was going, it was that type of place. They wasn't with it. But what would you do if you in Germany and you can get left? You know what I mean? I think she used her power, and I think she was using it. And think an attorney, they have a high profile attorney. I hear myself echoing. That's why I sound like that. But anyway, they have a high profile attorney. Do you think this attorney is going to take this case without receipts? They already said they had recordings, texts, secretly recording meetings. I think your girl did it, Wiley. So
we will see. We will see how this will be played out. Honestly, but I just don't feel. I feel it's very dangerous that we are telling people that she should be canceled without all the facts.
If it was a man, y'all do it.
No, I actually stood up for Tory Lanez and called out Kalen Walker, and he was
not
a man.
Tory Lanez.
I said Tory Lanez was guilty, stood against him. Many people I got dragged for, and I actually talked against Kalen Walker, stood against him, and Kalen Walker called him to show before he went to prison, and he was a man.
Trey Songz ain't innocent.
And I actually stood up for Trey Songz, and I believe he is innocent. Even a lawyer, she's a black woman, she's probably a Democrat. She decided to go against Tory Lanez, and it was evidence that she was encouraging the victim to lie on Tory Lanez. Trey Songz. So. And she went on Tasha K's show.
What about Keke Palmer? She ain't got nothing to gang.
You said, what about Keke Palmer?
Remember, she was the first one who was said something about Trey Songz, but she said she had to go in the closet because he was aggressively coming at her, at a party that he had at his place.
The same Keke Palmer that says she don't need a man. The same Keke Palmer that was grinding and grinding on Usher and all of that. And we just gonna believe that she's a wholesome woman and stuff like that. Maybe she did that. Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, I think we'll keep an eye on Big Girl, but I think she's a big needy.
Oh, okay.
And have y'all seen any up-to-date pictures of her? Because she sure has came down and lost a lot of weight and got a new dude on her arm.
All right. Well, we thank you so very much for calling in. Love you.
All right, Wiley.
Bye. Hey, you live on the Wiley Show.
Hey, Wiley, how you doing?
Doing good.
So you can hear me good, right?
I'm doing good today.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm calling in about the Lizzo situation. She did it. She guilty. Everything they said, she did that. She remind me of Mary Lee Johnston. And if y'all don't know who that is, that's Precious mama. When the social worker come around, she'll grab that grandbaby and act like she the nicest granny. And then when the caseworker go away, she a mean lady. That's who Lizzo gives me. I could never get off on her energy or her music, and now I see why, because it was fake. So I believe that.
That's what you're saying about her? You believe it?
Yes, I believe it.
Oh, I disagree with your belief.
Why, Wiley?
I disagree with it. It's nowhere in the world that she did this at all. She's a beautiful chocolate woman, a lot of chocolate. And I personally believe that she's innocent. And I would also caution us to pray. And I'll also caution us to fast and that we get more information. And I think we as the public owe to
She
hear
put it
from
in her
Lizzo.
song, Wiley.
Yes, I did hear her song. That's an old record, but I personally I don't believe it is true. I'm gonna have to. I don't believe
Well,
it.
you know,
I don't
well, you know,
believe
I'll
it.
be watching your show all the way until the end verdict, and I want you to say who was
Yes.
wrong when they find her guilty.
Yeah, yeah. I would definitely come out here and I would speak about it. The same thing about Tasha K. I had to come out because about Tasha K. But that one like that was like a civil thing, but this is civil too as well. It could be criminal. I'm hearing that some criminal charges could come, but as of right now, it is a civil case. But my gut has been 99.5% right, and I'm with my gut here. And look at that beautiful smile. Look, Lizzo look like she would do something like that, Paul. But she's
Yeah,
beautiful.
she do.
Oh, okay.
Who are you voting? If you voting, who are you voting for? Are you voting for Trump?
Is I'm voting for right now. I'm not going to speak on who I'm going to vote for right now. It's a little early. Check back to me in January. But right now I'm like the audience. I'm at a split decision here because I posted on my community wall. It's like a 50-50 almost. It can go either
Okay,
or.
one more question, then I'm gonna let you go.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you think Tory Lanez gonna get out and get probation and get sent to rehab?
Yes.
Because you hard on law.
I don't think that Tory Lanez is gonna get out and go on probation or anything like that. He's gonna serve prison. That's just a tactic. And I'm going to talk about Tory Lanez maybe in another video. I was going to talk about him in this video, but I have something special for that. I want to wait to more details with the Tory Lanez piece. But no, I don't think he's going to get probation. I don't think Tory Lanez is going to get anger management class. No, he's going to serve time in prison. This is just a tactic his lawyers are doing. He's going to be sentenced. He's going to prison. This is California. California justice system is like Alabama. They don't play.
Yeah.
So he was guilty on all charges. He's guilty and he's going to prison. He ain't going to nobody anger management class. He ain't going to nobody, you know what I'm saying, probation. No, he's going to be deported. He's already been found guilty. He's going to get those charges. And I mean, he's going to get that prison. He's got to eat that up. He's going to eat it up. So, yeah.
Are you going to do a gospel album?
I don't know. I think whatever the Lord leads me, I would love to do a gospel album. Yes, if I have the right producers, the right,
you got a good voice.
Yes, if I have the right writers, the right producers, and the right people around me, then yeah, I don't mind. I would love to do a gospel song. So yes, to answer your question, yes, because I need to do a record. It got to be the good record because we got to get more streams than Armand Wiggins. You know, he didn't have that many streams at all. He made only $1,000, so we can do better than that. So you know, and stuff like that. So maybe I would do something. Untwist my back. My back is broken. Heal my back. Walk on my back, Lord. Something, okay? I popped a Percocet to fix my back or something. I don't know. I'm working with some writers, and maybe when they get back to me, then I will make sure that to put it on the forefront. So yeah, I got a couple ideas. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I needed to know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, back to the topics here. Thank you all so much. I was not planning to do no 3-hour show. I will post this in increments. I want to say thank you all for y'all massive support today. Thank you to the supporters that came through. I will post that in increments. Also, we are working on the schedule. We are good with like Friday and Saturday for Vegas. So I'm just sending a rough draft to like a couple of people so they can look at. I gotta reach out to Natasha because she's in Vegas and Latavia, so they can look at the schedule. And the schedule can change. I'm just giving y'all a list of what we're gonna be doing on October 6th and 7th and 8th. So I'm just giving y'all a list schedule. It can change. Just giving y'all the list of that. Also, people in Vegas, please. I'm counting right now is 6 people, but I don't have the count of people in Vegas. So I know me and Katie Talk 101 is coming. So please, when I reach back to, I need a response because I need to get a head count of an official head count of people for the party bus. Because if we do the party bus, I want a head count. So I know me, Gil, Natasha, Latavia, uh, um, um, I think Aaliyah TV and they gonna come. They said increments. Y'all know I'm an F up. I told y'all I was in a slow class. Okay. And Aaliyah TV. So we're gonna put a list out. Yes, Aaliyah, myself. It's a lot. So please email me, Aaliyah. If you have not emailed me, please email me because that's the email we're gonna communicate in. So I can make sure I send y'all the same information. And everybody will have my number. I will give y'all my number, my personal cell number for that. Okay. So you all will know when y'all touch down in Vegas and everything like that. So we'll meet up in the lobby. We're going out for drinks. I don't know if Blue Sky. I'm trying to get her to come, y'all. I'm trying to get Blue Skies to come because it's gonna be lit. And I believe this crew gonna be different than last year crew. So yes, thank you, Tom. I'm smart. Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm saving up right now. I'm working all this month and next month saving up for Vegas. So I got 2 months. I got August and September, and then we'll be in Vegas. Okay. All right. So I got about a couple of checks to save up for Vegas. All right. Because it's going to be good. All right. It's going to be good. Thank you all so very much. It is coming up. Oh, yes, it is. All right. Thank you all. In the words of my missionary, Milagro Grams, little black boy, you beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. I told y'all I didn't do too much yelling today. Did y'all like that? I didn't do too much yelling today. Okay. Thank you all so very much. I got to go because I got to go do my show. Clips posted in different segments. And I'm going to put the timestamp so for y'all can have it as well. Thank y'all so very much. This was fun. This one is a good show. I prefer the whooping and the you know I'm a good whooping and hollering. I didn't do it today because it was kind of like serious today, but I'm gonna remind to do some whooping and hollering tomorrow. Okay. Also, we are doing a members only live now. I want y'all to come through members only for Friday. I want y'all to come through for Friday at 9 p.m. 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, because we have a singer. And I want y'all to don't be mean to my singer like y'all was mean to my friend Jamaican Brent. So we got a singer that's coming on Friday. So don't be mean, because child, and please leave Nate at home. Don't tell Nate about that because he mean. He mean. Somebody said I was mean last night. A beautiful woman said I was mean last night, but I love her though. And my niece, I have my niece be like, "You're mean." I love my niece. All I just said to my niece that she can't get no juice. You mean? Okay, so we got a singer that's gonna come on Friday, and y'all will see on Friday. Okay, so it's gonna be good old conversation on Friday, and I want to see y'all over there on Friday. Okay, all right. They said, "Stop here, you're mean." I love my niece. Oh, I love my precious little nieces. She was saying you're mean. But I love my niece. Anything they want, I'm gonna be so nice to them because because I be trying to be the I be trying to be, you know, the discipline God. And my niece be getting me together. I ain't gotta listen to you. I'm like, my niece is so, baby. I wish I could find that time stamp when I was in Chicago. Baby, my niece, she is something else. I ain't gotta listen to you if I don't want to listen to you. I'm like, ooh, like, come on, man, the disciplinarian. So she me. No, I ain't me, but my niece to be getting me together. Okay. My niece be getting me together. All right. So, yes, I love her though. Okay. I love her. Okay. She sure did. Then she tell your members, I said, hey, I said, she gets something. I just love my nieces and my other niece, child. She was like, every time I bring food out, I have to bring it for everybody. But nevertheless, I love you. She do, and that was hilarious. You could tell she was fed up with you. You don't live here. I gotta listen to you. This ain't your house. But I love them though. I always say they can't have no cake and ice cream. I bring the ice cream, bring the cake, bring the toys, and just like all that type of stuff. And then I like to I be like I be telling my niece, go out and play with your sister keyboard. And then I don't play with my keyboard. Now the keyboard we just collected dust. Soon she go over there and play with the keyboard, then she want to play with the keyboard. But nevertheless, I love my nieces and stuff. I love them. I love them. They are. I love my nephews, my nieces, everything. But I can't wait till she go back to school. She gonna be in second grade. My niece gonna be in second grade. Yeah, she gonna be in second grade. She gonna be in second grade. I'm gonna cry when I see her go off to school. All right. Thank y'all all very much. This was a good show. We've been on here for 3 hours. Yes. We've been on here for 3 hours. All right. I put my time in, and now I got to go. Now, make sure y'all like the video. Now, y'all ain't been like the video. All right. Click that like button. We'll see y'all in the next video. Tomorrow we'll be back live. Did y'all like me going live a little earlier today? Then too late. They say, "Oh no, don't tell me you're no, I'm not a pushover. I'm very stern." Yeah, I know pushover. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Blessings to y'all. Bye, y'all. Bye.